Welcome in, welcome in. Y'all, check 1, 2. Let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling, get it rolling. Lick Music is in the building. Welcome in. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Jenna's in the chat. What's up, Jenna? Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in. How y'all feeling today? Welcome in to Track Talk. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Drummer Doug is in the building. Vocalist, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. All right, let me see a couple things here. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in. If y'all are tapping in over on, welcome from Indonesia. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining. If y'all are coming in for the first time, just like you just did, let me know where y'all are joining from. If you make music, let me know the kind of music that you make. We'd love to chat for just a little bit. We're going to be on for a handful of submissions for songs. It's going to be short and sweet again tonight, as it has been for the last, couple of weeks, really just working through a bunch of other stuff and catching up on some other projects. So always a little bit restricted lately, but excuse me. Charlotte, North Carolina, welcome in. Drummer Doug, I appreciate you being here so much. Keith is in the building. Welcome in, Keith. Also, if y'all are on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. Vision is in the building. Snagtastic, Fizzle Top. Welcome in, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. Welcome into the stream. Arteria, welcome in. Jordan is in the building. Welcome in. Once again, talk to me about where you're coming in from. If you make music, I would love to know a little bit about the music that you make, your process, stuff like that. We can chat about that a bit. Primal is in the building. Welcome in, Primal. I appreciate you being here. Mr. Brown is in the building. Jenna, I appreciate you so much. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, currently speaking. Casper, welcome in as well. I appreciate y'all joining. Give me a couple minutes to update a few things, and I will explain the whole structure of the stream. I'll give my spiel, and then we'll dive into the music. We'll take like 4 or 5 songs today, I think is what I got time for. About 4 or 5 songs today, so it's a little bit more restricted, but hopefully we will get a chance to get into a couple amazing tracks from y'all. Let me get a few things moving here too. Elsri, welcome in as well. I appreciate you tapping in. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. Emily, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. Welcome into the stream. Let's see, 2:45. So let's get a couple things refreshed here. And in the next like 2 or 3 minutes, I'll explain the stream. I'll let y'all know exactly where you need to go if you would like to submit your music. Topher's in the building. But give me just a couple minutes to get everything caught up, and then we'll get things rolling here. Appreciate you, Jenna. Thank you for the help. I appreciate it a lot. LC Musings is in the building. What's up, LC Musings? Nikolai's in the building. Nobody is in the building as well. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream. Once again, if y'all are coming in over on TikTok, let me know. Ben, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Let me know where y'all are joining from. Let me know if you make music, the kind of music that you make. I would love to chat for just a little bit as we're just getting things rolling here. Equilateral, welcome in as well. Is it Cartnius? Am I saying that correctly? Thank you so much for tapping in as well. I do instrumental music. What genre? What genre of instrumental music do you make, Drummer Doug? I've been drumming since I was 4 years old, so I already like the name. Bex is in the building from England. Welcome in. How's England these days? Can you play my music, please? Yes, I'll get into like 4 or 5 submissions of y'all's music here in just a little bit. I'll explain. Give me just like 2 minutes. I'm just getting all of the different platforms warmed up, getting everything rolling here, and then I'll explain where you can go to submit, kind of the structure and the process of Track Talk and the way that we built, the way that we kind of formed this entire structure and community and live stream here. Thank you for the Heart Me Libby. I appreciate that a lot. Insane, welcome in. Goo, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for diving into the stream. Let's see. I'm updating a few things as we go here. And then hopefully in the next like 2 minutes or so, we can get things rolling here. We'll get things rolling here. Let's see. But I hope y'all are doing fantastic today. Hope it's a nice, easy Sunday afternoon. Easy Sunday afternoon for y'all. CF2B, welcome in. I'll explain the live stream here in a second. Everything is at my profile, but I will explain exactly where to submit in like a minute here. It's mixed with orchestral elements with cool drum parts. Ooh, I like to hear it. I like to hear it. That's dope. That's cool. We have some pretty cool like cinematic score world artists and producers that come through here as well. Some people that are kind of staples here that come, if not every day, at least a couple times a week, which is really cool. Welcome in from Malaysia. I appreciate you being here. Today's your birthday. Can you try to hear it? We're not playing popular artists. For one, happy birthday. I'm so glad you're here. I don't see the name on there, but I'm so glad you're here. Happy birthday to you. We're not playing any popular artists, but I am very glad that you decided to stop into the stream, even just for a second. Yeah, happy birthday to you. Yeah, we don't play popular artists. This is for independent, underground artists, musicians, whatever it may be. Artists, musicians, producers, engineers, so on and so on. Songwriters. All that good stuff. Queen, welcome in. Minion, appreciate you being here. Okay, let's get into, let's go ahead and explain the stream. Let's go ahead and explain the stream as I'm getting a couple more things updated here. I'll go ahead and give my spiel, my random spiel at the beginning of the live to kind of let y'all know what is going on, the structure of the stream, where you can go to be a part of it, so on and so on. If you would like to, let's see, hold on one sec. Grady's in the building. What's up, Grady? Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate it. Shout out to Libby. Shout out to Libby for the design on the shirt. She's amazing. She designed the artwork for the song that the shirt represents. Okay, let's get into it. Grady's in the building. Grady, it's so good to see you in here. I hope you're doing amazing. If y'all have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the stream. I'm so glad y'all are here. Thanks for spending, even just a handful of minutes with us, if not a couple hours. I really appreciate y'all taking some time to join. If you've never been here before, what we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30 minute long, multiple listen, deep dive consultations into the structure of your music. They are long, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes. They are multiple listen. We usually go through your track, your instrumental, your song, whatever it may be, 2 to 3 different times to really get into the details and the structure of what you're doing, both creatively and practically. This is not a review. There is no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. It is strictly a long-form, detailed breakdown of what you're doing within the structure of your mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting. We're going to go deep. We're going to go nuanced to hopefully offer you some specific, professional, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. This is, I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to get you exposure. I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you and tear you down. None of that. We're here to really get into the nuances of your music and hopefully, offer some value as much as we possibly can over the long term doing these 20 to 30 minute breakdowns. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done it for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So kind of the structure and the perspective of this live stream is pointed in that direction to make sure that you're getting some real value, that you're getting a really detailed breakdown of what you're doing. If you would like to submit your music, you can go to my profile. If you're on TikTok, you can go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. You'll see everything that you need there as far as steps, where to go, so on and so on, where to send your music and where to send credit, all that good stuff. If you're on the purple app that we're live on right now, you can type !submit right there in the chat. If you're on the red app, YT, that we're live on right now as well, you can go to the description for the live stream. You'll see what you need there. Currently speaking, if you want to see the line, the order, and the minimums, you can find that on those other platforms that we're live on, and we'll get things rolling here in just a bit as well. But yeah, if you want to see the line, order, minimums, all that good stuff, go to one of the other platforms, which you can find at my link, and you'll see what you need there as well. Hydra's in the building. Hydra, you caught me. We just got started, man. We just got started. We just kicked in. Jump style VIP. I'm not familiar, Breggy. I'm not familiar. Thank you for the follow, though. I really appreciate that. Normic Music, welcome in as well. Thoughts on country? I mean, that's a very general question. I don't know if I have like just specific generalized thoughts on country. I'm a fan of all music and all different styles and stuff like that. I have the stuff that I think I typically consume, personally speaking, more often than other genres, but I have an appreciation and work in and work around all genres. So, I mean, I think country is great. Sometimes it's like any genre. It's like absolutely any genre. Sometimes sometimes it sucks and it's overgeneralized and cheesy, just like quite literally any other genre. And sometimes it's amazing and it's deep and has great storytelling and really high level musicianship. So it's all over, right? Yeah, we get a lot of hardcore stuff in here. Definitely. I want to ask, what best method of sending you the one you wanted me to jump? Hold on, let me see. But I wanted to ask what best method of sending you the one you wanted to jump on is. I don't want to submit here every time. Wait, which Which one are we talking about? I might be misunderstanding. So I want to make sure that I'm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, like we're talking like a month or so ago. I was like, wait, did I miss something? Yeah. Just shoot it to. Do you have my? I don't want to put it on here because people get weird with it. Let me see. Let me DM you real quick. I'll DM you if you don't have it already. I'll DM you the other email so you can send the files there. Give me a sec. Yeah. No, I can shoot it to you right now. It's really quick. Yeah, really quick, y'all. If y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. Getting a couple things organized here, and then we'll get flowing. Let me see. There's Hydra because I shot you a message the other day. Let's see. What's up, Teresa? What's up? Good to see you. Are you down for some underground rap by the kids? Dude, yeah, of course. Omar, thank you for the follow. Paul, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, sounds good. Hydra. Let me shoot you the email. This is not the one unless I'm like working with people consistently. It makes it easier to just have this one go directly for my business stuff. So let me shoot that to you real quick. Boom, got you. Okay, just shot you the email. Timothy, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Oh, Monty Beats in the bill. We got some of the family in here. So good to see y'all. Some of the OGs, some of the family. Thank y'all so much for tapping in today. Josh, welcome in as well. Omani, is so good to see you. And I remixed Janice STFU. Dude, beautiful. Obviously that's a crazy hot song right now. So that's a smart move. Drummer Doug, thank you so much for the follow. Sounds good. Yeah, we're just getting things flowing, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in the stream. We're gonna get moving with some music here in just the next couple minutes. I'm only listening to like 4 or 5 songs today. So it's gonna be short and sweet. We're gonna be very, very limited. So if you want to get heard, you absolutely can. The lines are wide open. We just hopped on 5-10 minutes ago. We're just chatting. We're just getting things flowing. So if you are wanting to submit your music, you can go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. If you're on Twitch, you can type !submit right there in the chat. If you are on YouTube, then you can go to the description for the live stream. You'll see everything that you need right there as well. Charles, thank you for hopping into the stream. Paradigm, I appreciate you being here. Hope y'all are doing amazing. If y'all are joining for the first time, let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, I would love to know the kind of music that you make. Cornick, welcome in as well. I appreciate you being here. Welcome in. Let me double check a few things here. I'm going to make sure that I have everything updated and all the emails are kicking in. Derek Bennett's in the building. What's up, Derek Bennett? Welcome in, man. Hope you're doing fabulous today. And this Sunday, for me, it's Sunday evening. It is 6:41 p.m. 6:41 p.m. Hey, yeah, no worries at all. And I got you too. I need to shoot you a message as well. It's 2 a.m. and where are you coming from? Is it Cornique? Am I saying that correctly? Let me know where you're coming in from as well. Please long down to heaven. Bruno Mars. Is it Nagiri? Thank you so much for tapping in. I really appreciate you being in the live. We are not listening to popular artists. This is not for like mainstream artists. This is for independent underground artists that whether you are the artist yourself, you're a producer, you're a session musician, you are someone who is attached to those people, or you have a part that you play in those records, then that's what this live stream is all about. Minded, if anybody here would like to submit, you can go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. Read through and follow those details, and we'll get you up on the board, ready to go. Nagiri, if you do keep spamming the chat, though, you'll get muted, and I do not want you to get muted. I want you to be a part of the conversation. I want to make sure that you're involved, and if you do go too crazy with that, you'll get muted, and I would hate for that to happen. LSO is in the building, friend of Dan the band. I remember the name. Remember the name. Thank you so much for tapping in. Maestro, I appreciate you being here. Nicole is in the building. What's up, Nicole? Thanks for tapping in today as well. I appreciate you being here. LSO, thank you so much for the heart me as well. Arturo's in the building. What's up, Arturo? Welcome in. Let's get a couple things rolling here. I think we're 2 seconds away. Let's see. Hydra, I got you. Derek, I got you. I appreciate y'all so much. Let me get things rolling here. And again, I'm going to be closing the lines fairly early, just because I'm only taking 4 or 5 today. Riding the stationary bike while on stream. That's the vibe. You know, I have so the desk that I sold a bunch of the stuff in the studio and kind of rearranged how it's here. And so I have a sit stand now here so that if I'm like tracking vocals or I need to produce from higher up and do some other stuff, it's a lot easier for me. So I do have a sit stand in here. There's been times where I have been like when I'm mixing where I have been tempted to get like one of those like super small like steppers or like a little treadmill or something just for like while I'm mixing. Like I'll be sitting here isolated in this stupid chair for like 5 hours at a time mixing a song, and it's not healthy. I do try to work out every day, but still it's not ideal. I've been working out, new diet this last week. Let's go, Derek. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. A lot of y'all don't know, but I was a personal trainer for like, I don't know, man, how long? 13 years. I still do some independently. I still do some just like remotely. I have some remote clients I've been with for years and years and years. So I train them remotely and build plans for them. But it's been a while since I've like been in the gym space or whatever. But it is not easy to stay on top of that when you sit on your ass all day listening to music and making music. But it is fun. Monty, welcome in. Monty, I appreciate you being here. Sank, appreciate you being here as well. Sorry, I'm catching up on a few things here. Let's get it rolling, and then we get the line updated here in a second. Should be sent, bro. I'm going to send both. Janice is 100% done, so you can do one listen. Then if you can do one listen of the other one just to hear the vibe, we'll send a file after you load. Okay, so you want a 15:2:2 then. Let me see. Let me get this organized here. Oops. Hold on one second. I'm accidentally clicking things. I'm not trying to. Let me pull this up here. Let me make sure I get these in order. Let's go, Derek. Boom, boom. Got you. I appreciate you, brother. And then let me get Hydra in the building, and I got the two from you as well. I'm still waiting on the files to come in, but I got you. Yeah. Let's see. And then Derek, I got your email and you're ready to go. Y'all, let's dive into the music. We got Derek Bennett in the building. We got Hydra coming here in a minute. So let's get it rolling here. Once again, if you're on TikTok and you would like to submit your music for a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultation, to go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details. If you're on any of the other platforms, you can find them in the profile as well in the description of the stream. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's dive in. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to move at a good pace today. 4 or 5 songs. We already got, I think, 3 technically on the board. So we're going to get it rolling. Sounds good. Actually, okay, wait. Confirm what you're wanting to do real quick, Kai, just so I sort of get confused and I don't get things in the wrong order. Perfect, Derek. I got your email pulled up here. Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's then, we're going to double up on Henry's, and I have that one that just came in. This is a remix. But yeah, give me a couple details on this, because this is exciting. No, you're totally good. I just want to confirm so I can make sure I get everybody in the right spot here. Absolutely any style or genre of music, any level of quality or preparedness. We're going to be all over the place as far as what we listen to. Even just a couple songs I have on the board now as we're getting the live flowing here. We haven't even heard the first one yet, but I already know that we have some like EDM, electronic, house stuff, potentially knowing some of the artists that are coming in, and some like cinematic like hymn remakes and stuff like that. There's gonna be a lot of different variety here. So it's a fun live. We're gonna get into a lot of different styles and genres of music, but there's absolutely no bias. It's a very long form analytical consultation, so we're not biased in one direction and we just say everything else sucks. Okay. We got it, man. We got it. We got Janice STFU, the Hydra rework. Hydra's a beast of a producer. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. So this is a remix of obviously Drake's new song off of Iceman. So we're gonna dive into it here in a second. But let's get it. This is Hydra music in the building. Sounds by Hydra. He's over on Twitch right now, but you can find him on all of the different platforms here. It's a beast. It's a family. We love and appreciate what he does. This is a nuke. Girlfriend and I broke up a week ago. This was the product. For one, so sorry to hear that, man. It's obviously, depending on the circumstances, can be such a emotional roller coaster, such a crazy process to walk through. At the same time, as we have seen in history and as we have seen in the history of art, it can lead to some pretty incredible pieces of art and creativity. So I hope you're doing all right, man. For one, just as a friend, I hope you're doing okay, man. Let us know if you need anything, loosely. But I'm excited to kind of see the results of this at the same time, man. It can lead to some good stuff. So, all right, this is Drake, Janice, STFU. This is the Hydra rework. Let's get into it. Derek brought something different. Ooh, let's go. All love, man. All love, all love. You know we got you. I'm really interested, really interested with where this is gonna go.
Hey, Johnny, shut the fuck up. Hey, Johnny, shut the fuck up.
What's up, Joe? Welcome in. This is about your music. If you're an artist, producer, or musician.
Miliana, it's been so long since you texted me. I finally took a break and now I feel like I'm on ecstasy. You said what my work means to me will one day be the death of me. They tried to kill me once, but darling, you just resurrected me. Beach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need me, baby. I'm so green, you gotta teach me, baby. From Vancouver, you a BC, baby. Pull up, Maybach, beep, beep, baby. And my shit came with the heat seats, baby. Swear my label got a free beat, baby. Blow on me just like some green tea, baby. Beach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need me, baby. Beach me, baby.
Nice subtle chain in there. You hear it kind of pumping the piano a little bit.
Call my phone and say you need me, baby.
Good automation on the filter. Beautiful.
Pull up, Maybach, beep, beep, baby. And my shit came with the heat seats, baby. Swear my label got a free beat, baby. Blow on me just like some green tea, baby.
Love that lead.
Hey, Johnny, shut the
Absolutely. Any genre. Really love this instrumental.
Deep sleep, baby.
This instrumental stands on its own, even without the remix. It really stands on its own.
Pull up, Maybach, beep, beep, baby. See-through shirt, I get a sneak peek, baby. Blow on me just like some green tea, baby.
Hey, Johnny, shut the fuck
Teach
up.
me, baby.
Really nice production.
Say you need me, baby.
Love the early hit on the piano. That little syncopation there is beautiful.
Pull up, Maybach, beep, beep, baby. And my shit came with the heat seats, baby. See-through shirt, I get a sneak peek, baby. Blow on me just like some green tea, baby. Hey, hey. Tired of all of y'all telling me niggas is real. Pussy, I know when it's real. You only come home to pose and pop off a look, but you forgot how I feel. Shot-town popping a pill, go on a drill, looking for someone to kill. White kids listen to you, cause they feel some guilt, and that's how your soul gets to feel. Teach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need me, baby. Beach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need me, baby. Pull up,
great balance on the production too, man. Come on. Great movement on the percussion, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love, show some love, show some love. That is Sounds by Hydra. They're over on Twitch right now. So if you go over to the Purple app, you'll be able to see them over there. Show some love to the family. That is Sounds by Hydra. He did all of that production there. He obviously, for those of you who know the song, will know, but that's Janice STFU by Drake, obviously off his new album or series of albums. He did all of the production there, all of the remixing there. So let's dive into it, man. Let's get into it. I love it. Here's the thing, man. Obviously, like as the remix, it works. As you're building out the structure, it sounds great. It's a really good balance on the vast majority of all of these production elements. Sound gorgeous, man. They sound really, really well put together. I also think this production stands on its own. Like the remix, like culturally right now, is a good piece of content, right? Like it's a good piece of information to have out there that you can push and you can market and you can use to draw eyes and ears to what you. Yeah, you didn't sing that one. You can draw eyes and ears to what you're doing. At the same time, I really feel like you could also hang on to what's up, OJ. You could absolutely hold on to this production as well, because I really feel like emotionally, sound design wise, balance wise, it stands on its own. It stands on its own 100%. So I would kind of look both directions. I would look both directions. Obviously, there's going to be pros and cons to each one. Can you play Call of Duty? Are you talking about the game or is that a song? If y'all are wanting to submit music, I see people asking. If you want to submit music for a 20 to 30 minute consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board, ready to go. We are not listening to popular artists, so don't put in popular artists in the chat. If you would like to submit music, then you can. Go to my profile, click on the link. You can set a file in any format as long as I have access to it. So it can be a WAV, MP3, SoundCloud, YouTube, Dropbox, Drive file, whatever. As long as I have access to it and I can open it up quickly, we're not waiting around too much. That's the only thing that I have. Any genre, any level of preparedness, any level of quality. We'll hear everything, from voice memos of people humming to Grammy-winning musicians. It's going to be a huge spread. But let's get into it. I did honestly think about releasing itself, but with house, it's like someone being able to remember it. Like they can't say, oh, the one that goes boom. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I'm because obviously, some of the sync space as well. So I mean, there's a place for it. I just think I just really like the way the instrumental itself works. I really, really like the mix on it. I really, really like your sound design choices. I 100% understand what you're saying, where there is a bit of a necessity to attach it to something that has movement, right? In this case, attaching it to Drake and his new albums and stuff like that. Like there is somewhat of a necessity to, relate the song to something that people already understand and already get, and get traction that way. So do that 100%. Don't, I don't want to take away from that. But at the same time, you can also keep the production itself in your back pocket, since at least you do have ownership over that. Let's run it from the top. We'll dive into a couple details here, man. But it's really cool, man. Love. 100%. Yeah, exactly. As a background, as a build up, as licensed for YouTube, stuff like that. There's a lot of things that you could do with this. Let's run it from the top. But yeah, quick reminder: if y'all are over on TikTok and you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the steps. Dude, I love. I can't remember what the other. Did you send? You probably sent it to the other email already, right? I don't know if you already sent. I'll have to remind myself what the other one is. I'll have to remind myself what the other production is. I love this one too. It'd be really cool if you don't mind. If you're down getting other vocals on here, I wouldn't mind dropping some like hooks on this and some like simple verse vocal structure, something like that. That would be really fun. This is the stuff, like this production of yours is my favorite style of production of yours. This kind of emotional melodic house that I think is like really, really powerful. So send this over as well. I have this file here, but yeah, send it over as well. Yeah, no worries. I couldn't remember exactly what that one was like, but I do. Also, know you. Wait, what are you talking about? Just the instrumental? All right, let me run it from the top. Oh, that's the outro. Let's get it. All right, let's run it. Really quick, before we get too deep into this and breaking this down, really quick is initials BC. Initials BC, because I don't have the email yet. Leon, don't spam the chat. If you spam the chat, you'll get muted. But if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and read through and follow the details there. Oh, that's you. Beautiful. Right on time. I just started the link, but I'm not seeing where to submit. It's right above that emo drift. So right above that, you'll see. No, you're totally good. Don't apologize. I know it's sometimes different in different streams, but yeah, I don't want you to get muted by mod or something. Right above that. So wherever you sent the credit right there, just at the top, there's an email. At the email right there, you can just copy it over and send your file, your link, whatever it is over there. But let me get that updated really quick on the line. 80K. Welcome in. I appreciate you being here. Welcome in. All right, let's get no, you're good, man. You're good. Okay, perfect. All right, Emo, I got you on the board though. I appreciate you so much. Okay, let me see this real quick. No, I got you. I just want a quick reminder. I just gotta remember what it is really quick. I just want to remember what it is.
Silence where the signal was, but it falling now. The dark was always calling. We were the break silence into sound. Let it take me again.
Oh, that's nasty. Okay, yeah, I'll dive into both of these, and we'll see what works and see what happens. That's also Hydra. That's also Hydra. Drummer Doug. Okay, let me go back into this other track here real quick. We'll dive into a couple quick things, but yeah, that's a nasty one. I do remember that one now. These are songs that people, I'm not just reacting to them. So for those of you who are coming in for the first time, maybe what we're doing here are 20 to 30 minute consultations. So this is not like a quick review. I don't put up a trash or pass or rate it out of 10 or do a poll or anything like that. It's a 20 to 30 minute live stream consultation. So we listen to the track usually 2 or 3 different times, dive into the structure of the mix and master, production, sound design, lyric structure, formatting, whatever it may be. Every artist is different. Every producer is different and needs different things or is wanting to reflect on different things. So it kind of depends on who's in front of us, what we break down, but that is the structure of it. So it is not just like a quick listen and you just like a play to spin kind of, and then we move on. It is a very, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes. It's a long breakdown. Okay, let's get into it. Yeah, it's nasty. All right, let's dive into this one here. If y'all are wanting to submit on TikTok, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. But I like the melodicism of this one. On that.
Hey Johnny, shut the fuck up.
I think like, obviously if you want to use this as a way for you to bring attention to it, but I also think it would be fun to have the instrumental and maybe put something fresh and original on it that could live in its own space. I mean, I'd be super, super down, man. I'd be really, really down. You'll appreciate the triplet change. I will send you the old version and then updated once you can hear the change 100%. We're seeing your email to send the beat to. So yeah, just go back to that link then, or just email Drift, just type !submit in the chat. Type !submit in the chat, and then you'll see everything that you need right there at that same link right there. At the one of the first steps right there, you'll see, just you copy that email over. It's tracktalksubmission@gmail. You'll see what you need there. I could absolutely hear stuff on this. Like this gets my wheels spinning.
Miliana, it's been so long since you texted me. I finally took a break and now I feel like I'm on ecstasy. You said what my word means to me will one day be the death of me. They tried to kill me once, but darling, you just resurrected me. Reach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need.
What's up, Kirsty? Welcome in, man.
I'm so green, you gotta teach me, baby. From Vancouver, you a BC, baby. Pull up, play back, beat, baby.
So much anticipation, really beautiful structure on the build up here. And again, I'm mainly even just looking and focusing on the production structure because that's most of what we're going to kind of break down here. But there's a lot that I really love about it. Hunter, if you or anyone wants to see the cue, you want to see the line, just go to my go to the other platforms that I'm live on. You can go to Twitch or YouTube and find them at my link. The line is always up over there.
And my shit came with the seats, baby.
Like it's such a really, when you have this kind of like 80s house vibe in the background here too, obviously just lots of modulation, lots of shimmer and reflection. Like it's an incredibly open, really, really open production structure here. The mix on the production I think is fantastic. So I am excited because one of the things that I think you're doing well is obviously connecting this to a song that has a lot of movement right now, that's everywhere. It's going viral. The posts are going viral. That's a good strategy, right? So putting that in its own compartment here, that's a great strategy. At the same time, I feel like there's such potential for this to stand on its own and have its own legs as a production. Like, because this, although this is great to attach it to the song, this is a much more like kind of like low registered forward, really, really tight vocal that is, very, very punchy. So I think you lose a little bit just by default. You lose a little bit of kind of like the softness and the melodicism of a more like natural higher register vocal, like a higher mixed voice, where you'd get a little bit more, openness, a little bit more vibrancy with less of like the slice and punch. You gotta appreciate the Hydra buildup. You just need a broken heart dude, 100% Hydra, 100%. We always get the Hydra, buildup. Lost in Silence, welcome in. Laura Murray, love the new setup. Maybe it's been a long time. We've been here for a minute. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know how long it's been since you've been in here. I was like, man, I've been in this room for like a year now. It's crazy how time flies.
Teach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need
Such a good pump.
baby.
Absolutely Silence, 100%. One thing that I really, really appreciate about Hydra's music, but even just speaking to Hydra, to your music, man, and the productions that you work on, and the way that you format a lot of this is your structure really breathes. Like there's a lot of like we talk about your automation lanes all the time. What's up, Free Willy? Good to see you, man. Yeah, we talk about your automation all the time. To me, it's one of like your strengths. Now the sound design choices are so important. The balance is so important. All of that's so vital to the song, right? But what I love about what you do is there's so many lanes of movement and modulation and filter movement and chaining that's happening that makes it so interesting to listen to because the mix constantly is kind of evolving. It's like you hear the song growing, you hear like these filters open up even just lightly, and so the synth becomes a little bit more prominent. It's got a bit more edge to it. Like there's all of these things that start happening that are so subtle, they're so nuanced, but they add so much life and to the mix and also make it such a journey to listen to. There's nothing about this song from start to finish, and this is a 6-minute set. From start to finish, there's nothing static. There's nothing static at all. It's always moving and morphing, which I respect so much, man. That takes so much time. That takes so much time and so much energy. I'm Lost in Silence. If you would like to actually submit your music for a consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through it and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board. Free Willy, good to see you, bro. I hope you're doing amazing. Welcome in, welcome in. All right, let's keep this rolling here.
Beach me, baby.
Yeah, they have their own kind of automated, like little altar boy kind of format and shifts in there that kind of shifts up and shifts down, that gives it some, interesting edge and stuff like that. And again, like I mentioned before, this is just a very punchy, prominent vocal. Obviously the structure that it's over originally is very punchy. You know what I mean? It's got a lot of weight to it. Yeah, 100%, man. It's got a lot of weight to it. Dude, has been a minute. Jesus. I'm bouncing between too many different things. It has been a minute. I hope you're doing fantastic. Hope you're doing fantastic.
Call my phone and say you need me, baby. Pull up, play back, beep, baby. And my shit came with the heat seats, baby. Swear my label got a free beat, baby. Blow on me just like some green tea, baby.
Even there's some of the movements, obviously some inflection changes, but then you also are getting some of the automated format shifts and stuff in there as well. So dealing with that, still tucking into the mix, obviously it's its own challenge, but I think you did a great job, man. I think you did a great job. But for me, it's all about the production, man. It's a cool song to connect it to, and I think you did a great job fitting it into a structure and shifting the energy to something, less playful and more emotional. And I think you've done a great job of bridging those gaps and making that work in this song.
Hey, Janice, shut your fuck up.
This is where we need to start posting content with this, man.
Deep sleep, baby.
Because even that, it's very, very forward. It's very kind of on the nose, just because that's the way that it was performed originally. But the production's getting really intimate and soft, and I would love a vocal that reflects that change in dynamic, so really pulls you in, and then expands like crazy when this next obviously huge drop that's coming up happens as well. Yeah. There's a beautiful little high arpeggio at the top right there. There's a lot of fantastic movement here, man. I love it. Like, it's a lot of really great structure here. Ben, best vocal mic under $500. I think anything from Lewitt or Lawton is going to be your best bet. The LA 320 is probably the only option for Lewitt. I'm sorry, for Lawton or Lawton, however you want to say it. Under $500. They're about 300-ish. On the other side, the Lewitt 440 Pure. I think they also have the Ray for right under $500. I think those are your two best options for a straightforward, large diaphragm, clean condenser that's going to be bright and open. It's going to give you a lot of energy. It's going to be, give you a very, very full sound. I think those are going to be your best bets. If you're going to go under 500, isn't Lewitt sibilant? No, not. What's up, Joe? Welcome in. Lewitt is not sibilant. No, sibilance has a lot more to do with the actual performance itself than it has to do with just the diaphragm or the circuitry attached to it. The sibilance is going to have a lot to do with your technique on the mic. Now, if a mic is very bright or incredibly, incredibly sensitive, then of course that can give you some different issues. Thank you for the fist bump, bro. I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate the love. I hope you're doing fantastic. But I think Lewitt and Lawton are probably the best quality mics that you can get for under $500. And I would put those against anything. The Aston is fine as well. The Aston Origin would probably be another option. Any mic under $500. So this is where like everything kind of blends together and kind of becomes all one thing, right? So if you're looking under $500, you're looking at cheap microphones with cheap circuitry and cheap capsules, cheap builds, right? And anything under that is going to have some compensations for that to make it sound a little bit better, out of the box. You're not going to hear a dramatic jump in quality. I mean, look at a Rhodes, look at a Lewitt 440 Pure, look at an LA 220, not 320. Sorry, the LA 320 is a little more expensive. That's a tube microphone. The LA 220, those are all, an AT 2020, a Rode NT1A, whatever. Like all of these, they're all going to be cheap, bright microphones, right? What version of that cheap and bright, I think, is like you can just trial a couple things. You can watch some shootouts, but at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to your ability to perform, have proper technique, understand the microphone, understand your environment, understand your voice and your source. And if you can do that, then you can make any microphone sound pretty good, whether that's a, AT 2020 or a Rode, or it's, getting up to like the LA 220 or something like that. It really is going to come down to your technique for the most part. Past that point, you can add in a little bit more taste, but anything under $500, they're all gonna be a similar profile. Slight differences, very, very slight differences, but you're not gonna really get any like major characteristic bumps until you're getting to like 1,000 plus. Then the kind of tube that's in the microphone, the actual circuitry, is it transformer or transformerless? The quality of that circuitry, all of that is gonna come into play a bit more past that point. But under $500, like it's just choose a microphone, get to know it, and until you hit a pain point in your processing and a pain point in the limitations of the quality of that microphone, just stick with it forever. I stuck with cheap mics for a very, very long time before I got some more expensive microphones, and I think it just comes down to what you're able to make of it. Finally upgraded from a Scarlett Solo. Let's go! Hell yeah, dude, amazing. I have a Lewitt 440. It's not bad for 100%. Yeah, if you're looking for a $250 microphone, there's probably 10 options out there that are decent, especially if you're going to look used as well. Like none of them are going to be great. The Warm Audio Junior is not going to be great. The 47 Junior is not going to be great. The 440 Pure is not going to be phenomenal. They're microphones. They're capturing. If you're decent at capturing, you'll have some good results. You'll have some good results. But there's nothing in that range that's going to blow your mind. There's nothing in your range that's going to be like, this is a great microphone and this one was terrible. Unless you get like a cheaper MXL 770, which I've owned. Like you get a cheaper, like a used AT 2020, and they're noisy as hell. They're over bright and they're compensated a little bit too far on the high end. So it is just brittle to listen to. Like there's going to be some microphones that are going to be, they're going to be, somewhat painful, and you can mitigate some of that. But at the end of the day, a lot of it's going to come down to like your ability to track. And that's if you're using a $100 microphone or a $10,000 microphone. Okay, let's keep running this build up here really quick.
See-through shirt, I get a sneak peek, baby. Blow on me just like some green tea, baby.
Hey, Johnny, shut the fuck
Teach
up.
me, baby. Call my phone and say you need me, baby. Pull up, make that beep, beep, baby.
Too many factors to say that deep.
Came with the EC.
There's not a number that would be the fix for that. There's so much context. There's so much context on levels and stuff between all that. There's not a dB between the two. That's not really the way the relationship between those two elements works. So that's very, very determined on the exact sources and exact pocket you're fitting that into. Its frequency profile, its relationship to each other. There's too many variables in that to give a number to it. And anyone who does, Sharif, welcome in. And anyone who does give a number to that is kind of BSing. MC, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. People, I know just people want answers. Like, and other people want to offer answers and feel like they're doing something because they're doing that. But there's too much nuance to what goes into every single one of the things that you're trying to balance in. I could never spit out a number and be like, this is where it should be.
I get a sneak peek, baby.
Yeah, it depends. What is happening at that -6? What's happening at that -12 and anything in between? What is taking up that negative? Like if the beat's at whatever, the beat's hitting -10 on its own, what is causing that, right? Like what is that? What is the reasoning behind the fact that is the target for that, or that is the limitation of where that beat has actually answered? Like, is that because of low end inflation? Is it how compressed is that source? Like so many, is it because it's like there's a lot of ringing that's happening at like 2000 hertz, and for that reason the headroom has lifted it to that -10, even though you might want to go louder? There's so many nuances, to like what is creating the sound source, right? And what is creating the mix that you're actually looking at. And so that's why I was like, anyone who's like, yeah, do this, especially when you're talking about relationship between multiple elements, not just where should I mix it before I master, and you can, where should my vocal be before I get it in there? That, there's way too much nuance there. Boofy's in the building. What's up, Boofy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Not Boofy. Have you ever used any AI scripts for mixing? No, I have not. It's a good. Adam, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. What's good, Boofy? Good to see you, brother. All right, let's keep it rolling here. We got some more music to get to. Of course. Let's see, Hydra's who we're listening to right now, by the way. So just y'all know who I'm talking to them on Twitch. So it's if you see me talking to a phantom here, that's who. The only number is mixed in -6 on the master. Just turn down on master, then after mix sounds good. Focus on volume. And then every time I open project, I put it to -6 on the master. Yeah, and again, even within that, you're going to have 50 different Grammy-winning engineers telling you a different part of that process. Some that mix into limiters, some that don't mix into limiters, some that are mixing into processing, some that aren't, some that mix to a -6 and hold that as they're balancing and then push for loudness on the master with a limiter and soft clipping or what. Like, there's even within that. And all of them are right. That's the beauty of creating music. Now, maybe some will sound better than others. Maybe some are a little bit, maybe give you a bit more information as you're mixing than others. And so depending on how far along you are in your journey, some of those are going to help other people more than others. But to me, like that really just comes down to the way that you're building your tracks. And that's going to be different for everybody. Adam, we have already heard the song all the way through and part of another song. The way that these consultations work is that we go through the entire song one time all the way through. And then we go back through that song 2 or 3 times to really get into the details of it, chop through it, answer some questions, work with the artist or producer to kind of, notch through a couple different things and talk about them. You're in the part right now where we're answering some questions. We're talking through parts of the song. We're stopping and starting it and skipping to different parts to talk about parts of the structure, whatever. So there's always going to be some movement around here in the structure here. It's not always going to be all the way through. Okay.
You only come home to pose and pop off a look, but you forgot how
absolutely any style.
Popping a pill, go on a drill, looking for someone to kill. White kids listen to you because they feel some guilt, and that's how your soul gets to feel. Teach me, baby. Call my phone and say you need me, baby.
100%. I'm going to get into this outro here. I want to get into the outro here really quick too. If any of y'all want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, read through and follow the details there. We can get you up on the board. I only have time for like a handful of songs, like a couple more songs on the board, and that's it. What's up, Jay? Welcome in. Such great movement, subtle automation on the shakers here between the hats, a little bit of movement left to right. Really tight percussion. Punchy, energetic, slight pump on everything else. I hope I can dive a little bit into this. It'll be fun. To add something fresh on it. Give it its own life. And maybe even release it, man. Never know. I really love this percussion structure. The progression feels emotional. The sound design is really good, consistent layering over the top, which I think adds to the tension, adds to a lot of the emotion that we're feeling. Beautiful. Y'all, please show some love. Show some love. That is the family. Sounds by Hydra. And we love you, man. Seriously, fantastic at what you do. You're incredibly talented. So excited for the future of a lot of the records that you're working on, man. I know you've got a lot of stuff in the chamber that you're working on right now, so I'm really excited, man. Became really good at, I was reading the end of that last message there too. But yeah, show some love to Hydra. Love and appreciate you, man. I'm gonna spend some time. I want to spend some time on these records here too, and try to write something. Even if it doesn't work. Just the potential of getting something out there with you would be really fun as well, man. We've been wanting to work on a record for years, so it helps when one of it's already largely produced. That helps a lot. Y'all show some love to Hydra. They're over on TikTok. Show them some love and support. What's your go-to? Go big love, man. Always. I appreciate you, Sarif. You're amazing, man. I appreciate the help already. Let me answer your question really quick, too, before we get into the next track. What's your go-to mix bus chain? Like the things you use on any project? That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. As far as what's on my mix bus chain, it really depends on the style of music that I'm mixing, right? So I wouldn't say, this is not going to be a helpful answer. I hope maybe it is a little bit. I wouldn't say that there is a typical that I have all the time, right? I would say there's more specific tools that I have each time, and the form that those tools take is dependent on the song. If I'm mixing like a trap artist, right, and a couple different features and rappers and stuff like that, that's going to be a different level of like maybe transparency that I'm looking for and punch that I'm looking for. If I'm mixing like some like 60s, dead, dry, kind of filtered vintage feel, right? Like the way that I approach that master is going to maybe be looking for more harmonics and noise than usual. It might be a little bit looser in the way that I compress versus how tight I build a master or a mix bus and my buses and the production leading to that on like a modern pop record or R&B or rap, whatever it may be. So I the way that I kind of go about it is going to be very dependent on the style. It's going to be very dependent on the artists themselves and what they're also looking for out of their record. There's like my professional taste, and there's also the artist who's like, I actually want this brighter, and they can kind of, they might look more in that direction. So that, that's going to be different. So kind of confused on switching from my chain to the all-in-one things like STL tones, ozone, stuff like that. I'm a fan of independent control, so I like being able to have a lot more nuanced taste, right? Like I have ozone. I typically use ozone for just my master, just my limiter. That's when there's just a lot of independent controls in there as far as clipping and stuff like that. So I really like it just for, like, I paid a bunch of money for it. I literally use it largely just for multi-band stereo optimization and ozone, and for the limiter. That's right there. But as far as like what compressor I then use on the master, what limiter I use, what EQ I use, or chain of EQs, or whatever, what saturator I use, that's going to be very, L3 from Waves is great. That's going to be very dependent on the artist, right? Like I like using the Capitol Hills mastering compressor. I use that on a lot of records. That one never really treats me wrong, but it's very harmonically rich, right? So that, that's if you want harmonically rich, then that's going to be great. If you don't, then it's not going to be very transparent. And so you gotta kind of utilize what makes sense for you. How about using RX for the mix bus chain? I mean, it depends on what aspect of RX. I don't use Capitol Hill's great. Capitol Hill's fabulous. I use that on almost, it's one that I go to very, very often for a mastering compressor. And even then, I'm doing 2 dB tops. I'm kissing it. If the mix is imbalanced, I'm not going to fix it on the master. If there's things that are jumping way too far out, then I'm going to fix that in the mix. And so when I'm getting to the master, my max, I'm telling you, max level of compression and reduction on my master is like about 1.5 dB to 2 dB. That's it. I'm just gluing this together. I'm putting it under an umbrella of harmonics, an umbrella of curve, and that's it. As far as like EQ and compression and saturation goes, I'm putting it under one roof and making it clean and concise and connected, and that's it. If I feel the need to do anything more stylistic, I go back into the mix and do that within the structure. That means I've missed something closer to the source that I need to correct. My master is like, even I might have, sometimes in a master there's like 3 plugins and that's it. Sometimes it's like an EQ and a EQ compressor and a limiter, and that's it, and I'm good. Sometimes it might be I might need a fab filter in there to tonal, correct some things or whatever. Most often than not, I might have a couple plugins in there. Each of those plugins are doing like nothing. It's tiny little movements here. It might even be like on the mastering side, it might be like automations on EQs. So like on the mastering side, sometimes if I want to maintain a sense of kind of growth and movement, one of the things that can be helpful is like just having an automated, like very, very like light, even like a tilt EQ or like a really, really light high shelf that is literally going from 0 dB to like 1.5 dB or 0 dB to 1 dB at like 9K and above on the master, just to over the course of a song, it just and you won't even know. It's like you don't even notice it unless you go start to back, or you go like start to finish, right? And that's it. But like very, very light elements of like growth and movement on it. Same thing with opening width. Same thing with like, controlling your dynamics and stuff like that. Like those are the little tastings, but everything that I'm doing on the master is like nothing. It's tiny little shifts in order to kind of wake the song up, make sure that everything feels connected, feels wide, it feels vibrant, it feels energetic. It feels, depending on the genre, it feels warm and it feels easy to listen to. I'm not dealing with any resonances that are harmful or feel abrasive to listen to, and then working on loudness as necessary. So hold on. Let me catch up and let's get into the next record. Let me know really quick if Derek's in the building. Derek, let me know if you're here. And then I'll also get, I think Cam said they submitted. Oxford limiter and ozone maximizer. There you go. There you go. There you go. No, you're totally good. I love answering these questions in between. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, absolutely. Dude, I appreciate you. And is it Piccolo? Am I saying that correctly? Absolutely. Would love to give you some advice. So you just leave those plugins on, like default presets. I just do it from scratch. Yeah, I'm just doing it from scratch. So based on ear, based on, do I need to push input? If I'm using the Capitol Hills, am I going to push the input a little bit more? Am I going to drive it more into the tubes, kind of, crunch it up a little bit more? Or I'm going to go hotter, I'm going to go hotter later on and reduce my input going in. I'm like using Pultec EQ or an AFX decider for the final high. Yeah, the Pultec on the master is something I'll go to fairly often, especially if I'm mixing hip hop or R&B. That little 60 hertz, like broad curve, 60 hertz below, and like 15K top. Those little air and shimmer and weight, they can be helpful to just kind of snap up. And we're talking again, two notches either way, and it can be just a nice little tasteful openness there. What's your thoughts on getting the mic right instead of fixing it later? I'm 100% there. 100% there. If it doesn't sound right when it's already in there, I'll redo it. Fix it at the source every single time. Every single time. I'm the biggest fan. If I'm recording an electric guitar and I'm miking my guitar amp over here, like a tube guitar amp over here, and it doesn't sound good when I put it in the DAW, I'll move the mic, I'll switch the mic, I'll change my settings, I'll switch out a pedal. Like I'll find a different way, because every time that I make an artificial or digital change in the box, to me, I'm reducing the end goal of what I had. I want an accurate translation of what I'm tracking to what's there, instead of recording shit and then being like, well, now I need to try to come up with my vision. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna record a really shit, and there's no rules to this. You can do whatever you want, right? But like, I'm going to record shit. I'm going to record a shitty vocal. I'm going to have like all these issues with it. And then I'm going to spend the next 3 hours trying to like surgically cut and move and mold all of these things to hopefully get it back to my original vision, as opposed to just recording the vocal that you want, tracking the guitar that you want, miking the drums the way that you want, and getting them done in a way where your initial track, your initial source is exactly what you want it to be. And then from there, being creative with, some of your post-processing, stuff like that. Stacy, welcome in. Got a 1073 clone. Should have switched years ago. My job is so easy now. Yeah, I mean, a powerful preamp is probably one of the best. Even before a mic, oftentimes, a good preamp can be an absolute game changer. Feel drawn to doing it. You want to do it. You got this. We got some spam. There we go. Hey, beautiful. Okay, let's get into it. I'm doing amazing, Stacy. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. Let me just update the line here really briefly, and then we'll close the line actually here in a second. We got Cam in the building, so Cam, let me get you up on the board. I appreciate you tapping in today. Welcome in. All right, we got Derek Bennett in the building. Let's run it. We got like 2 more songs after this, y'all. Short and sweet. Okay, let me double check. Sorry, I'm getting all my notifications in now, so I want to make sure I get everything in order. So I make sure I actually pull up the right... Stacy Deneen, beautiful. Yeah, I remember Stacy. Welcome in. I remember that name. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Got you on the board as well. Okay, so we got 3 songs left, so I want you to keep that in mind. 3 songs left, and keep that in mind. So keep your eye out on the line. Remember, the line is up on the other platforms as well. I got Derek, Emo, Cam, and Stacy. Y'all are the ones that I have up on the board right now. That is all that I have. So if you did send one, just make sure that you did follow all the steps. After this song, when we go to 2 songs left, I will close the line and we'll listen to 2 more. I need to update minimums now as well. Just keep that in mind, that this is, if you are left up on the board for any reason as well, we always make sure that we add to yours. So the next time you come in, you get a little bit of a boost as well. I've been here before. It's been a long time. Yeah, Cam, I remember. I don't know if the SSP. I know you're. That's got to be in Boofy's crew, right? I remember the name Cam. I just can't remember. I've had a lot of Cams in here. I just don't remember because I don't know if it was the same last name on there. How much would I have to pay you to play rock and roll style drums, royalty free? You just have to pay for session work. Just got to pay for session work. So if you are just paying me as a session musician on drums, that could be depending on the setup and depending on what I need to do, anywhere from like $200 to $500 for a session on drums, something like that. But yeah, it's going to depend on the songs. It's going to depend upon the setup needed, any like post processing I have to do, and like what the song is, right? And if it's a just single track or if it's multiple, stuff like that. Okay, Music Lab. Thank you for the oranges. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate that. You're making me want to go get one. I got one in the fridge right now. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. We got a couple more songs here, y'all. A couple more songs. Let's see. Where did it go? Where did it go? Derek Bennett. Derek Bennett. I see you. Da, 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 da. There we go. All right. Tell me what's wrong with the vocal. This is Derek Bennett. This is Derek Bennett over on YouTube right now. Tell me what's wrong with the vocal. Feels like no energy, maybe. If anything, I plan using this as a demo vocal for the next vocalist. We can talk structure and production still. Okay. Sounds good. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is fresh to me. I don't think I've heard this one. Let's go, Nathan.
I was ruthless in my ways, nobody could have got to me. Persecuting people just because they ain't like me. I've been through the
You produced all this?
fire and I've seen the darkest days. Cause the devil is a liar, but he ain't got a hold on me. Now I'm free.
No problem. I can see through the cheese.
Spent a lot of time playing the same old game. Learn to live with the choices that I've made. Found a seat at the table I was scared to embrace. Just a broken vessel saved and filled with grace. How do you change when you've gone this far? How do you save what you burn to the ground? I was running, the road ran out. Went from doubt to brand new. I'm living life his way, and grace is all I see. Left my pride and my ego for the crown of victory. Thought I had to earn it, man, I thought I'd have to pay. I was living this life blind.
You gotta get like Jelly Roll on this or something.
Washed away.
It's got that little like rock country edge to it. There's a little bit like steel slide in the background.
Spent a lifetime playing the same old game. Learn to live with the choices that I've made. Found a seat at the table I was scared to embrace. Just a broken vessel.
I recorded this vocal on my studio. It was just kind of weird all around. I feel that. Been there a few times.
I was running, the road ran out. Went from doubt to brand new life. Same old game, learn to live with the choices that I made. Found a seat at the table I was scared to embrace. Just a broken vessel saved and filled with grace.
Yeah.
How do you change when you've gone this far? How do you save what you burn to the ground? I was running, the road ran out. Went from doubt to brand new life. Brand new life.
Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. That is Derek Bennett Music. They're over on YouTube right now. Show some love and support. Let's dive into it. Let's get into the details. Format wise, I think it's great. There's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of good structure here. I like the structure of the hook itself. There's a lot about the production that I love. We got our beefy drums back in there. I love more of the integration of the electric guitars, not just relying on strings for the mids. I think there's a lot of that feels really vibrant. This feels very energetic. And of course, this is an early production mix. This is very fresh. So this is not going to have the polish, of course, of the later record. One of the things I'm aware of, I think we talked about this a little bit last time, but what I would really, really be hyper aware of when you're working with individual different vocalists, and those different vocalists have different vocal ranges, different registers, different timbres and tonalities. When you're working with each of these different people, you might need to get a little bit more specific with the keys that you're using with these individual vocals. Because what you'll find is some of these vocals will then have to sing a little bit lower for their hook, so it doesn't quite have enough energy. It says dun 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 dun. It's like it's very comfortable. There's no push, there's no real drive out of it. They don't have to use a lot of like diaphragmatic support. So the good voice, I mean, like, obviously can sing. They have good tone, good vocal control, especially when they push that higher register. You can really hear it. They can obviously sing. That's not in question. You can obviously produce. It's not in question. But I think it comes down to the marrying of the two and the fact that they might need to start even lower in order to make sure that the top register of this vocal has as much power behind it as possible, and that they never have to settle for the lower register. Because right now they kind of shift into like the third note harmony or fifth note harmony as the main lead later on, and that gives it some more energy. But it's kind of in an awkward space where I think the structure that you're hearing that is feeling less than, it's feeling like less energetic that you want it to be, or than you want it to be, is partially just because they're not in a register that really feels like they can even push to reach it, right? So that's kind of what I would listen for, kind of right off the bat. So let's run it from the top. We'll dig into a couple little details of that, but the key matters a lot. The key matters a lot, man. All right, let's run it back. Let's run it back. You have a good, clean, that lead melody. When you're building this out, if you build this out anymore as far as the production structure goes, amplify that. Having an instrumental hook as well as a vocal hook is vital. So having this even... Don't do that. Having that structure right there, that's so catchy. It's an amazing first initial melody of the song that I would have in every interlude, that I would have between every verse, I'd have at the end of every hook or whatever it may be, depending on how you structure production. That is such a great instrumental hook right there. Amplify that. Have the piano do it, have the strings do it, have like a clean electric guitar follow that as well. You know what I mean? Like make that a center, like a focal point of this intro for sure. Yeah, right in there. Like make that forefront. A little bit of mud on the bass there too. I think there might be two notes hitting. I'm wondering if the bass is for some reason polyphonic in the background. I do feel like I'm hearing a couple notes blend maybe over in the MIDI. Double check if it's like a re-triggered mono or if there is polyphony on the bass or maybe a low pad in the bass working together right there. But you are getting a couple times you're hearing like both of these notes here, right? You're getting a little bit of that tension. Because I want to hear if I hear it on the first note. You hear some of that rumbling in the background right there. So double check your low pads, your lowest string points, lowest pianos, and the bass or combination potentially of basses you have in the background right there. You do get a lot of mud between, I think, a couple notes. So double check, like I said, double check that if you're wanting like single note like monophonic, re-triggered monophonic, or if you're wanting polyphony, for some other parts of the song, make sure that you don't have overlap of those notes with that bass, because it is creating a lot of mud in the low end right there as well. Sub bass and a bass guitar at the same time, different notes. I think since they're in the same register or largely the same register, the different notes is really, really muddy. They need to probably, Fabio, thank you for the follow. They probably need to be doing the same note. I wouldn't have them doing different notes because they're operating in such a low space. You're largely hearing this like rumble, right? Because those, the lower you get in those frequencies, the slower those waves are, right? And so you can hear all the... You know what I mean? You can hear all of that low frequency rumble right there. And you have two different things kind of fighting right there, especially if they're in different notes. I would get them on the same note or find another way to make sure they can actually fit together. Because it does make it, you hear a lot of that tension and dissonance. And then at the same time, it can get really, really muddy in the low end really fast. And it's also going to really limit the mixing side as well. If you have two elements with subharmonics in there and a lot of sub frequencies that are building up quite a bit. And you're going to constantly be wondering like, why can I get this mix loud? But then you have like two basses doing two different things that are most likely going to be robbing the engineer of a lot of headroom. It's going to be challenging to make them fit together. They might even just like mute one and be like, look, it sounds good now. And it might sound good now. So just be aware of that you either want to like put them in the same note, maybe on a different octave or whatever it may be, but still following the same progression and movement right there. Otherwise it's going to be really muddy. It's something I would definitely keep in mind. Get different frequencies. Yep. So you analyze and help producers. Producers, artists, musicians, songwriters, vocalists, whatever it may be. We spend about 20 to 30 minutes consulting, digging into the details of their mix, production, sound design, lyric, and song structure. JB Wild, absolutely. Any genre, any style, any level of quality. People come in here very accomplished. People come in here in their first month of ever trying to produce a track with loops or something, and we go from there. We're going to get a lot of variety. Safety Trading, welcome in. Tio, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, let's get a little deeper into the vocal structure here. Anna, welcome in.
Nobody could have got to me.
If you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. After this song, we're going to be closing the line. I only have time for 2 more tracks after this. Anybody that is left up on the board, I will always save. I'll never listen without you. You'll never miss out on your chance to get heard. If I have to save you on the board because there's more artists on the board than I have time to listen to, then I will always add at least $5 in credit to your name as well. That way, the next time that you come in, you have an even larger skip. Some people have done that for quite a while and built up a lot more. Anna, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. So anyways, just keep that in mind. Keep your eye out on the line. The line is on the other platforms that we're live on. You can see how many songs we have left. You can see the order. You can see the minimums at the time, so on and so on. Let me update that really quick since we're listening to Derek now. Boom. All right, let's keep it rolling.
Persecuting people just because they ain't like me.
So like this early pocket right here, we're on the D minor. This early pocket right here, I don't mind because the dynamics are quite a bit lower, right? Like this, it's a little bit tighter. It's a little bit more intimate. So this vocal to me doesn't feel like it's missing as much because I don't need a lot from that vocal. Anna's in the building. Welcome in. Simple question. How do you transition to melodic sections that don't feel related? We talk about this all the time. I'll just really briefly, because I gotta keep running through the song, is just have elements that relate section to section, right? So I mean, obviously you can use some risers, you can use some reverses, you can use some chordal changes, you can use a drum roll that transitions one melodic section to the next section. Like you can do that within your percussion. But one of the ways that I think makes it feel the smoothest is that you have elements within your first section that still represent themselves in the second. If it feels like we just switched between 2 different songs, it can feel very abrasive, where it's like, now we're in a different world right now. Sometimes that works if that's the intention. Obviously that can work, but if you're wanting it to blend really well, but just change melody, maybe change the lead element and kind of change the top line, but keep the kind of the undercurrent a little bit more consistent, just making sure that maybe one of the arpeggios that you have in your A section is still a part of the sequence, maybe an octave higher or lower or filtered in the second sequence, so that your A and B sections relate in some way but still shift dynamics quite a bit. But I think the relationship between the two needs some blending if you want it to be as smooth and as cohesive as possible.
I've been through the fire.
Love the slides in the background too, by the way. That's a more fresh, I haven't heard too much of that in your music, so I like that.
I've seen the darkest days, 'cause the devil is a liar, but he ain't got a hold on me. Now I'm free, and I believe.
And that dun da 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 da. That whole movement in the background, again. Whoops, don't do that. That background before you move to the low. When you move, it's kind of like a little pentatonic movement down. When you go back down to the D minor with the guitars in the background, once again, those need to be like forward, dynamic, transitional elements of the song. Again, I know it's an early production mix, so I'm not too worried about you getting that right, in the future. But I want that, make sure the main things are the main things here, that they feel powerful, they feel forward, they feel really energetic. There's some of those elements that are way background that should be forces in the mix. They should be one of the biggest thing that you hear in the transitions into the next section. And I want those to be, very prominent. That might also be, I feel it jazzy. That might be one of the reasons why you feel there's elements of this that feel like they're missing some steam. And it's just because some of the things that should be maybe a little bit more supportive are really forward, like maybe the arpeggios on the strings and synths that are kind of forward. And then maybe they should be a little bit, smaller in the mix and take a little bit of a back seat. And then things that should be like big forces in the structure of the song should be like main bass guitar, your rhythm guitar, double tracks in there that are carrying some melody and also carrying your chords. Those should be forward. Those should be, really prominent and powerful. So keep in mind that we might just need to shift energy here a little bit on the pre-mix, like in this early production mix, to make it feel like it's a little bit closer to the energy that you're looking for. And then we'll get to the vocal, because I know that's kind of the main thing here.
In the same old game, learn to live with the choices that I've made. Found a seat at the table, I was scared to embrace. Just a broken vessel saved and filled with grace. How do you change when you've gone this far?
So when you go to, when you get into here, there's obviously so much more projection and clarity and punch behind that vocal, because he has to reach a little bit, right? He needs a little bit of vocal compression and diaphragmatic support. He needs a little bit more energy behind it. So immediately that vocal feels like there's more going on. I need more of that for this hook to be more viable. Because if he's here, this is so comfortable. We've talked about comfort in vocals a lot. From a vocal production standpoint, this is so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy that there's no real ability to like push it forward. When he moves to when he moves to those vocals, you hear the projection come out more. You hear the support of the vocal. You feel the energy around it mix. So either the whole melody needs to be there, or we need to shift the key of the song for that lead vocal to stay more in that space longer. Like right now we're in D minor. Let me hear the progression.
Spend a lot of time playing the same old game. Learn to live with the choices that I've made. Found a seat at the table I was scared to embrace. Just a broken vessel saved and filled with grace. How do you change when you've gone this far? How do you save what you burn to the ground? I was running, the road ran out.
So you have this. And then kind of walking down from there. When you hit this first part here, I'm kind of curious if this just needs to be lower. If this just needs to be lower. The whole song, the whole production, the whole everything needs to be lower to make room for him to be very comfortable in the low register in the verses, him or another male vocal or another vocal on here, and then have the whole hook an octave higher. Where the hook is powerful. It's got energy behind it. It feels really, really well supported.
Nobody could have got to me.
So right here's, I'm kind of curious on the D minor here. B minor might be to like I wonder if he would be able to support there. And then when you go to the hook, like there's just so much more energy, so much more projection in the higher octave. And then when he shifts, it feels like there's more behind it. The energy behind a song is so much determined by the way the vocal is performing. Like there's only so much energy you can pull out of like a VST string or like a drum before the vocal has to like be in line with that in order for you to like feel the emotion behind it. And I think right now he's just too low in his register. There's just no support. So my gut reaction is either we need another vocal who can hang with the current key that you have and can push the high octave the whole time during the hook. Whole time during the hook. So when he's doing this, that needs to be the start. No, that's the wrong key again. Here's your key. That needs to be the whole time. He can't be an octave lower. He's just going to lose all of his steam. He's going to lose all of the energy behind the vocal. What's going to really make this push? He could keep the low octave there, but the whole thing needs to be the higher octave.
Now I'm free.
Now I'm free.
And I believe.
Boom. If he's straight there, totally different feel. Totally different feel. Like dramatically different feel. So that would be my suggestion. The reason why we're not feeling any energy is because there's no support for the production underneath it, right? And the vocal's too low in a register to offer any of that tension that the song definitely needs. It's a big, country rock production, right? Cinematic, there's strings, there's guitars, there's leads, like there's a lot going on here. And so it needs to be, and I believe, it needs to be boom. It needs to be right there. It needs to be right there immediately. If it doesn't, you're going to lose a lot of steam. Same thing here. Go down to the octave again.
And grace is all I see.
Low octave fine.
Pride.
And again, I think this is the case whether or not you stay with this artist and we keep the same format and they just have more support behind their vocal, and or you get a different artist that maybe can hold that octave with a little bit more strength. But it definitely needs to be there regardless.
In my ego for the crown of victory. Thought I had to earn it, and I thought I'd have to pay. I was living this life blinded. Now it's all been washed away, and I'm free.
You could, again, there's a lot of options here, but you could even jump the octave at halfway through this verse, right? Like if you start here.
This is all I see. Left my pride and my ego for the crown of victory. Thought I had to earn it, and I thought.
Like you could jump the octave on the second half of the verse right there, leading into the high octave on the hook again, and the energy just feel like it's building so much more, as opposed to staying low octave, go to the hook, it starts low octave, dips up for a second. You know what I mean? Most of the song is in that lower register. That's why we need that. We need that support. So I would definitely be going to the high octave on the hook. I would for the whole hook, and I would maybe even do like on your B verse, maybe even going to the second half of that B, going back up to the high octave again, transitioning straight into it, and then doing harmonies and lower octaves from there. Like once you have the high octave in there, you can do third note harmonies lower, great for this genre, and you know, and a couple different parts here as well. Super Hero, I see you, Tyler. Thank you so much for tapping in. If y'all would like to submit your music, go to my profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. We'll get you up on the board ready here in just a moment. Just keep in mind really quick, if you are submitting, that we only have 2 songs left. We only have 2 songs left. So if you would like to submit, you definitely still can. But I would encourage you to go check the line over on the other platforms first. You can go to either Twitch or YouTube. You'll see the line over there. If you do that, you'll be able to see where the minimums are, how many songs we have left, and where you would need to be in order to get heard today. Have experience as zero that, so anyone knows. It lacks technical knowledge.
Thought I'd have to pay. I was living this life blinded. Now it's all been washed away, and I'm free. And I believe.
Yeah.
Spend a lifetime playing the same old game.
And we're we got to find a way to have that octave in there, or at least the third note being a little bit more prominent. Super Arrow, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
Learn to live with the choices that I've made. Found a seat at the table. I was
like, he can't, again, with the power behind this production, he can't really be seat on the table. Like he needs to be up there, supported by that. Like he can keep this low octave maybe, but like supported by that low octave, not with the low octave being the main thing. He does, because he does it right here at the end. There's a higher octave. He's already there at the high octave, so he has it. He might work with a different vocalist regardless, but he does have the high octave because he gets it there. The last half of every hook, he hits the high octave.
How do you say what you burn in the ground? I was running, the road ran out.
I will also say, from an energy standpoint, like you said, you can always switch to a different vocalist. You already have an idea for that. That this particular vocal does sing very airy. So there is a lot of like, it's kind of like from the throat and mouth. It's very airy. So he's not getting nearly as much diaphragm support or nearly as much like power behind the vocal. He gets a little bit of it as he pushes for the higher register, but that might be a lot. That might be a lot for him to get into that range and hold it consistently, being that he's not really supported as much with his like chest and mixed voice. So I do think it could be beneficial. Like you said, you already have an idea for another artist, another vocalist on here, to get someone who you know can really hold their own in that high mixed voice. When you're really trying to push breathy and kind of singing from the throat with not nearly as much diaphragm support, it can be really challenging, and it's going to be, you're not going to get the projection that you're wanting, just because everything feels very, very airy and very breathy. Even those higher registers, there's not like that punch to it that you might want out of that, like a higher rock or country vocal. Let me see. I don't know how to submit the song. Super Arrow. If anybody wants to submit, go to my profile. First, check the line on either Twitch or YouTube. You can find it at my link tree. Check the line on either one of those platforms so you can see what the minimums are right now, and you can see where the line's at. A lot of this is going to be changed here in the near future as well, so just keep that in mind. But if you would like to submit your song after checking that, then go to that same profile, click on the link, and then just read through and follow the details there. You'll see an email where you send the song. You'll see where to send credit and stuff like that. Okay, let's keep this rolling.
Just a broken vessel saved and filled with grace. How do you change? I'm playing the same.
Love these interludes.
Spend a lot of time playing the same.
Because even here, ooh, you have this do, and then he goes down to dun 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 dun. This huge jump down. He's like whole 8 steps down. And he comes back down into the lower register, and then we lose that little bit of steam again. So when you're like, man, the energy's not quite there, doesn't feel like the song's quite punching the way that the production is. I think you did a great job on the production, but like, it's not doing what I wanted to do. I think it's because you're constantly pulling back, right? Like, ooh, we're building up. We have a lot of energy, and then all of a sudden we're down an octave. We come out of a strong buildup on a verse, but then it never quite jumps, right? Those small details, and whether it's key or just register of the vocal, makes such a huge difference in how the actual audience is going to perceive it and feel the energy of it.
Spend a lot of time playing the same old game. Learn to live with the choices that I made. Found a seat at the table I was scared to embrace. Just a broken vessel saved and filled with grace. How do you change when you've gone this far? How do do you save what you burn to the ground? I was running, the road ran out. Went from doubt to brand new life. Brand new life.
Want to hear this early melody really quick? I think this needs to be a cornerstone of the song too. So like when you do, again, you have this, that little melody right there.
Learn to live with a joy filled with burning ground.
That needs to be a forward guitar, piano, strings doing that melody. Like here.
I was running, the road ran out. Went from doubt to brand new life.
Right there.
Brand new life.
Forward. Like that needs to be like a main forefront element. To me, that drives the song from step one. I mean, this is the first intro right here. Love it. But that needs to be mirrored by multiple elements. It needs to be like a main part of what happens in the song, and like the post-chorus, your interludes, like of course the intro here, the outro here. That to me is like, those are two big pockets of this that we're missing an identifier of the song. It's there, but it's soft. It needs to be amplified by, I think, multiple elements, even in the intro. It needs a little bit more strength behind that pocket there. Y'all show some love to Derek Bennett Music, man. You know the deal. We love and appreciate you so much, man. You're an absolute killer producer. And like you said, this you recorded this vocalist in-house, and already felt a little bit weird. So the thing I would just really keep in mind when you're working with the production, but also like working with the production, but also starting to work with the artist, is the skill set that now for you can really sharpen on the fly as much as makes sense when you're working with a vocalist in studio, is how quickly are you able to adapt to production and transpose it and stuff like that, to be like, hey, this chorus is not really hitting. I would really love if you could stay in that octave the whole time. I'm going to drop the whole give me 2 minutes. I'm going to drop the whole production down, 2 semitones. And I would love for you to see if that's comfortable for the verse. If it's too low, let's figure it out. If it's too low, maybe we can change melody a little bit, but I want the chorus to hit at the high octave. So I want it to be comfortable enough for you to do that. And so I think that could be also, we also wrote the lyrics and melodies on the fly. Okay, I mean, killer. I mean, that's a good studio session. Like, y'all are doing a lot. As far as like a demo goes, it's a fantastic demo. There's some scratch elements in there that you can replace, so on and so on. But I think as far as like, that's the next thing of like, and there's been a couple different times many different times I've had to do that, whether with an artist that I'm working with, producing for, whatever it may be, or even in my own music, where I have to be like, hey, it's not doing what I want to do it. How do I get it there? Like, okay, this hook being one of the most vital parts of the song structure, how do I get it to a place where it does feel very strong? It does feel very, very open, and I'm not missing any energy, and focus on that. And then see like, okay, now how do I kind of deconstruct this and go back into the verse and make sure that in those verses, I'm carrying that same energy and it still feels supported, so on and so on. But y'all show some love to the family. Love is love. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I appreciate you being here. Welcome in. Welcome in. I agree. The high octave would take it home, Stacy. Y'all show some love to Derek Bennett. You're amazing, man. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for stopping in today as well. Let's keep it going, y'all. We got 2 more songs once again. Do me a huge favor and make sure that y'all are keeping an eye out on the line. If you, of course, are saved, we don't get to your song tonight, I'll add 5 to yours so you can get a boost next time. Any genre. Is it Mitten's music? Absolutely any genre. Same, man. I appreciate you so much, Derek. Any genre, any style, any level of preparedness or quality. We've got, who we got? We got Emo in the building. Let me know if you're in here. I just got to confirm that you're in the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep it rolling. That's a catchy. If you can get that, in there. It'd be crazy. Beautiful. All right, Emo Drifts in the building. Let me pull up the track here. What's the name on Jazz? It's Jazz. Remind me really quick is it BC? Is that you? Got you. Just wanted to confirm. I'm trying not to say people's names just because you never know. All right, this is You Don't Mean It by Let's Chill. Thanks for checking out my song. I'll be recording one more day of ad-libs and harmonies this week with the singer. Also still debating potential changes to certain synths. synths in the drop. But overall, I consider this finished and going to move into mixing next. Appreciate any and all feedback. All right, let's get it. This is Emo Drift. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Let me get it downloaded real quick, and then we'll dive in. We'll dive in. Okay, I'm closing the line, y'all. Line is officially closed. I'm not sure I'll be live tomorrow. It's going to be a pretty crazy day. I'll be busy the vast majority of the day, so I'm not sure the amount of time that I'll have. So most likely, they're over on Twitch, Cam. They're over on Twitch. That's why y'all can't see them. Okay, they email from Brady. Okay, perfect. Let me get this closed up here. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be live on tomorrow, but I will be live on Tuesday. As far as I'm aware, I will be live on Tuesday, but Monday I might be out. All right, let's get it rolling. Get it rolling. This is, why didn't it download? Give me a sec. You Don't Mean It. Let's go. And this is by Let's Chill, the band name, and Emo Drift. I've heard your music before. I'm pretty sure it sounds familiar. Just remind me really quick again, exactly what the role that you play in your music. So just so I'm conscious of it. This one and one more, Stacy. That's why I want to make sure, if y'all can, keep an eye on the line. The line's on Twitch and YouTube. You can see them all the time. That will be changing soon. I'll be updating some things over the coming week to make checking line, all of that stuff a lot easier. So keep an eye on that. But right now, it's Emo, Cam, and then Stacy. So currently speaking, I will be saving a couple and then adding to it. So if you get saved, I'll always add 5 tiers. So the next time you come in, you get a little bit of a boost as well. Sounds good, man. Yeah, I won't be live probably tomorrow, as far as I'm aware. Maybe I just don't know. But I'll be live in a couple days. We'll be back in here. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad you were able to come back in. All right, let's get it. This is You Don't Mean It. First time submission. Let's Chill is my group name. Me and my best friend Holden produce. Okay, perfect. Sounds good. I love it. I love it. Yeah, keep me updated with any details. And let's dive in. So this is my first time hearing you. You Don't Mean It. Bye. Let's chill. Let's run it. Mins, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. If you want to talk to me about your production structure, what you're using, let me know.
I'm overthinking. Got you on my mind.
And which vocal might be yours as well. Stacy, thank you for the follow.
I call you out on all the shit we never talk about. And we both know you come and gone. And we both know you don't mean it. We both know the love is gone. And we
good
both
voice.
Know you don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it.
Okay.
Say it. Say it. Say it.
A reverse sample. Let's go.
You stay the night, but you're not there for me. All you want is the comfort of a memory.
Is this your vocal?
It's just a game that you've been playing, and now I can't believe in what you're saying.
I know there's 2 of y'all.
You've come and gone, and we both know you don't mean it. We both know the love is gone, and we both know you don't mean it when you say it. 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 Say it. Say it.
I like the progression too. Okay, beautiful.
You don't mean it. You don't mean it. You don't mean it when you say it.
Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love, show some love. Kinet, appreciate you hopping in. Is it 4IB? Welcome in as well. FJ89, thanks for tapping in as well. Yeah, sorry, we just closed. I have one song left, so I always close the line so it doesn't get too confusing for me at the very end right here. I appreciate you tapping in, though. Thank you for being here. I'll be live again, most likely, maybe tomorrow, but most likely Tuesday. I'll be back live again. We'll open up the line again. If you want to know where, just type !submit in the chat. That will bring you to the link, and you'll see everything that you need right there. But y'all show some love. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Welcome into the stream. Welcome into the stream. Okay, so for me, let's dive in. This is Emo Drift. They're over on Twitch right now as well. Kinet, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to dive into this because I really think the bones of this are awesome. Y'all, you're obviously, you said that's your friend Paul. It's on the vocal. He can obviously sing. Y'all can obviously produce. So this is not really going to be a question of like, do y'all have the skill to execute this? It's going to be more of a question of like, how do we add to this to make sure that it has the amount of vibrancy that you want it to have? Because the vocals themselves are good. There's some really good doubles in there. There's some really good vocal runs. It's good melody choice. I don't mind the lyrics, especially for this kind of like, it's like a very like syncy song. So I think it lives in that space really well. It's good for placement. This is good for interludes. You're bringing the vocal in at the end of some scene on like Love is Blind. You know what I mean? Like it has that energy of like a modern, electronic record that can be placed very easily. So there's a lot to this that I like a lot. The thing with the vocals is they're very dry. They're very, very dry right now. So they're great vocals. They're well recorded. They're very clean, transparent recordings. Very, very, very dry as far as like processing goes. And then you have this really processed, quantized, perfect in pitch outside of modulation, synths and percussion and stuff like that. So if you have a hyper perfect production that's very locked in, it's on the grid, it's quantized, it's tuned, everything's like VST, it's all very rigid. And then you have any looseness with the vocal structure and it doesn't feel like it's processed to the same manner as the production. It can feel kind of disjointed. It can feel like they're not pointed in the same direction and like you're missing some energy in the mix. So one of my recommendations would be to tighten up processing on the vocal in a way that connects it a little bit more to the actual production. Like I said, the production is perfectly in time. It's perfectly in pitch because it's all digital, right? And then you have this real analog vocal. And so I want you to find some ways to connect it to where this feels like it's all pointed in the same direction. Let's run it from the top. We'll talk about some specifics on how to do that and some ways that we can build this out a little bit more too. I also think that when you do a post hook here, this mix itself is fairly simple. As far as the production itself, there's not a ton. It doesn't sound like there's 50 elements going on, right? There's some room for you to build it out a little bit more. I think someone mentioned, might have been Fabio, but mentioned having like another bass in there. I do agree that we need a little bit more on this build up, maybe cleaner on the verse, but once you get to the mean it when you say that, when you get there, I think it would be beneficial to have a little tum 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 tum. A little bit more transience, a little bit more punch, a little bit more drive behind it, I do think would be really, really helpful because what happens is you have this perception of energy building up. You have these risers and the energy starting to kind of build up right there. And then it doesn't quite resolve that buildup. Like you don't quite get the energy on that hook as my brain wants to. It wants to get a little bit more drive when we hit this bum, 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 bum. Boom, 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 boom. I want a little bit more out of that. So I do feel like it could be beneficial to have one other layer. Like maybe right now you have this like nice like sub bass and like a little bit of like a synth bass and like you have like, kind of like your sawtooth stack on there that's giving you a lot of that energy. Beautiful, slower attacks. You get that little wave and pump out of it. Beautiful. Nothing wrong with that at all. But then maybe support it with something that's got a little bit more grit to it. It's a little bit more pointed. It's a little bit more transient, and that really drives with your percussion structure. And then we already talked about vocal. We'll get into that just kind of in here in just a second. And there was one other thing. Then post hook, and then we'll slide through the song here. Post hook, you go into kind of an instrumental, breakdown at the end, and then you come back with the vocal. It's very typical of this style of electronic music. You go back into the vocal again. On those interludes, personally speaking, I would love to hear a replacement, really clean top line. I think a synth in the middle of those, like a synth or a really cool bent vocal sample, like formant shifted vocal sample there could be really, really powerful to make sure that you always have a top line that's really present in the mix. So when the vocal leaves, the mix doesn't feel like it's softened and all of a sudden like the that leaves and then it's kind of but it's kind of soft, and we're missing some like nice strong lead portamento element at the top of the mix that like replaces that vocal. And then maybe when the vocal comes back in, you take that synth out, and then you kind of go back and forth. There's a little call and response. I would love to hear a little bit more of that in the mix right here. Okay, let's run it from the top. That's kind of my bullet point of everything that I'm feeling right now. I want to tighten up vocal processing so it feels like it matches the song, feels like it actually feels connected to what you're doing. And then I would love to honestly kind of polish low end and high end. So like bass structure on the hook, top line for your post hook. Those to me are like the three most important elements here. And honestly, not like a crazy amount of work. The overall like balance and like cleanliness of the record, I think is great. Like I said, vocal sounds awesome. So this is You Don't Mean It by Let's Chill. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into it. I don't mind all of these reverses. Like, there's a lot of this that sounds great. Like I said, bones are fantastic.
Lost in thought, I'm overthinking. Got you on my mind, girl, and I'm sinking. You call me up, I call you out. On all the shit we never talk about. And we both know you come and go.
Like, I would absolutely have probably, maybe not this whole time, but definitely having some doubles on this vocal throughout parts of the structure. On the we don't know, like right there, you're calling and responding with some ad libs, but I feel like the vocal itself needs like maybe a double on it. And then this is also where I would get into like some creative processing and like where you position things. Right now, all of your vocals are right down the middle. George, welcome in. Good to see you. All the vocals are right down the middle. I would love some of those ad libs that you have and the doubles that you have to be offset of the vocal and potentially even double tracked. So having one on the left side, one on the right side, pull them back by like 6 dB and get them kind of back in the outside. You could put a filter on them and a chorus and whatever. Like you could pull these back in the mix a little bit, but I would love to again, I want to mirror like those synths that you have are like chorused and they're wide and they're quantized and they're perfect in pitch. The drums are obviously quantized and really rigid, and then the vocals kind of loose. I would love to feel some of that same support in the vocals, so like a double track left and right, to make sure that feels really vibrant and stacked and is supported well. Thank you for the heart, me appreciate it. As well as maybe a couple other little elements.
I'm sinking. You call me up.
It's like I'm sinking. Since those doubles are the ad libs right there, and you already said you need maybe another day of ad libs and harmonies. Okay, perfect. So I'm going back to the email too. I'm saying some of the things you already had in your email. So I think you're already aware of some of this. Some of the harmonies, so not even just the harmonies, but where they're positioned and how they're executed, I think are gonna matter a lot. And then on these doubles, on these ad-libs that you do as well, whether you keep some of these or replace some of them, I would process them in a different way from this lead vocal, because right now what's happening is they're both in the middle. So they're kind of both in mono, right in the middle, in the center channel of the mix. And then they're processed like exactly the same, just at different levels, kind of. So what happens is they just like kind of step on each other's toes. You have one that comes in and then another one comes in and then it sounds exactly the same, like just an actual like double of the vocal going over itself. So that can just get noisy and kind of muddy and busy. And so as like a consumer of the song, I lose a little bit of like, what's the lead? What's like the lead element I should listen to and pay attention to? Like, what should I sing with the artist? I think if you can clarify what's like the lead element, what exactly is it doing, and get everything else out of the way. Like your background vocals are back, they're processed differently. Maybe they're wide and they're double tracked, they're filtered a little bit, they got a chorus on it, or it could be any number of things, but keep that lead, cleaner and punchier down the middle. I think that'd be nice.
I call you out on all the shit we never talk about.
I love the saturated vocals in the background. Those are beautiful. Those are awesome. I love those. That's what I'm talking about with these like connective tissue between the production and the mix, right? Like that to me immediately felt so good. It felt so good. As soon as I heard that distorted vocal, I was like, oh yeah, there's the vocal as a part of the production. Just because it feels really tied to it. I need more of that. In the vocal processing here, especially on an electronic record, you probably want to tighten things up just a little bit more, whether that's like tighter compression or another layer, another chain of compression, maybe even a little bit more saturation on the lead vocal itself, a little bit more control, maybe a faster retune. I think these are tune vocals, but maybe a faster retune speed on the tuning, like go from 45 milliseconds down to like 30 to 25 milliseconds, just like tighten up this vocal a little bit to where it feels a little bit more controlled and a little bit more pointed in the mix. So it doesn't feel like it's too loose and too organic amidst a really strict production, like we mentioned before.
Shit we never talk about. And we both know you come and gone. And we both
Love the
You
synth.
don't mean it.
Love the
We
synth.
both know the love is gone, and we both know you don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it.
And this right here, as soon as this hook comes in, boom, 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 boom. That's where I need like a low, guttural, punchy. I also am speaking stylistically here a little bit as well. Feel free to morph some of what we're talking about to what makes sense with the structure that you're wanting to have, right? Because this is also, I'm not here to like take over the song either. I don't want to feel like want you to feel like I'm doing that at all. Just, I want to get your wheels spinning so that you can go back to the song and be like, yeah, maybe this does need this. I like the way we did this other part. Like, oh, this is completely within your control, obviously. This portion here, as soon as this comes in, the harmony structure comes in, but I'm looking for like, on a style like this, I'm looking for a wall of sound. You know what I mean? I'm looking for dum 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 dum. I want it to feel like when this da 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 da, when that vocal comes in, I want this to feel punchy and vibrant and like, you know, like I'm gonna shake the speakers at the festival. This should be like a huge, huge moment in the song where the energy of the vocal, the high octave that you push, that Paul pushes, comes into alignment with this whole structure underneath it. And right now it's just too small, right? We need a really big, nasty sounding bass underneath it, and then maybe even more support on some of these other records. I wouldn't be afraid of overproducing this a little bit more. It's very simple right now. It all sounds good. Like the vocal that's there does sound good. All of the sound design that you have there does sound good. I honestly just feel like you need another 3 or 4 layers. It needs a little more life. It needs a little bit more presence on the low end. It needs a little more stab in the middle. Vocal processing layers, whatever it may be. So for me, it's like, it's not even necessarily you need to fix a ton of things. I think there's some gaps in the production that can be filled to make this as energetic as I think you're imagining it could be. And that to me is kind of the whole thing. I want your vision for the song to translate when it hits the DAW. And that's kind of what that's kind of what I'm looking to do.
When you say it. You don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it.
Like those, okay, so now we're going into our post hook, right? We have a mean it when you say it. Beautiful. Now we're going to a post hook here. This is where I need to hear some supported like lead synth elements that take the place of that vocal. Let me see something. Let me see something real quick. Let's see if this is gonna work. I'm gonna just for shits and giggles, we're gonna try something. Where's my lead synth here? Just for the sake of showing you what I'm imagining to some loose extent. Let's try something here. Let's try something here. A little bit of a call and response between some of these elements. Okay, let me find something here. A little more portamento on there. Let's see. I'm gonna back it up here. So
You don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it.
okay, so let's go a little cleaner, sharper saw. Okay, so here and then I'm gonna do a Studio D chorus just for the sake of opening this up a little bit, and then you'll see what I'm imagining. Again, do this your way. Do it in a way that makes sense. George, thank you for the rose. I appreciate it. There we go. 2 seconds. Sorry, I'm gonna make an adjustment to. There we go. Okay, so if we go here now, here's your hook, right?
You don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it.
whatever version of that, right? Whatever version makes sense in your world, right? But having the boom 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 boom, like having that call and response. Discover, you welcome in. Good to see you. Having a little bit of that movement, that back and forth, whatever sound works. Like try 50 different sounds that make sense, but having that little bit of back and forth right there that takes the place of a lead coming in. Otherwise, you're just kind of left with this. Come out right here, right? This is very, very open. It's very, very open, and I want a little bit more of that drive. So if that happens over the top end, and then we go to the other side here, and we go to bass. So let me pull up some synth basses here. I'm just doing some basic stuff here on expand because it's fun. But let me see. Okay, I'm gonna get something a little dirtier. I want to be able to re-trigger too. Oh, that's nasty. That's a lot of resonance. I'm gonna take off some of this resonance here. So let's just see real quick. Resonances. Let's also make sure that we re-trigger. So let's go to play. And hold on. Dum. Let's go here. Again, I'm not gonna try to find the bass. This is not my song. So I just want to give the idea. I just want to have it happen.
You know love is gone, and we both know.
Here.
You don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it. You don't mean it when you say it.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't really like all that resonance and stuff on there. It's too wow. We don't need all of that. But I do like the ability to have something. Oh, it's because there's multiple instruments on here. That's why it's two. Oops, I'm kicking stuff here. That energy, right? It just fills out a lot of the low end there. A lot of that sub, right? So part of it is the texture and the character that's happening, and then some of it is the frequency buildup. There's already chorus on it. A lot of it is just the actual frequency buildup as well, right? So some of it is that we need some of that growl, we need some of the energy, we need like a low saw in there to open it up and give it some punch and give it some power. And again, I'm not going to find the bass right now and create it from scratch. I just want to show how it would exist there. But that being said, you also then just want to fill out some of that like 150 hertz and below where we're missing a lot of power. We're missing a lot of presence and a lot of energy right there that I really think could add a lot. So this is like both sides. Basically the drops that have some more jam, 100%. It needs more life. It needs more energy. Those vocals need to be tighter. They need to be punchier. They need to be processed in a way that's connected to the production. We need like a call and response to the lead synth at the top. We need another stack of synths playing those chords with a sidechain from, somebody like a phantom sidechain on it to create that pump that you have. Like we need a stronger low end. We just need to think, like I said, it's not even that there's anything there that's wrong. It's just we need some additives. We need a couple other layers here that feel like it really builds out the rest of the mix to really strengthen the far low end, really strengthen the far top end of this mix, and build out a structure that is way more energetic. Because I hear what you're going for here. Like I hear this production, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, this is cool. I appreciate you, Discover You. I appreciate you. Like, there's nothing wrong with what exists there. There's just not enough. There's not enough to fill out that energy, or the processing of each of those individual elements needs to be built out a little bit more. So it's very dry. It's very dry. Sometimes dry works, but this is like a modern EDM record. You know what I mean? At least from the way that I'm perceiving it. You know, this is a modern electronic record. It needs energy. It needs to be punchy. It needs to drive. It needs to have a lot of things going on to fill out this space and make it a wall of sound, right? Like I want, when that hook hits, I want the bass to hit me in the chest. I want it to, even with headphones on, I want it to shake me to my stomach. You know what I mean? And then I want those highs to come in. I want those stacks of synths to come in and feel exaggerated and feel energetic and feel incredibly, you know, vibrant in the mix. And those are some of those things that I'm mixing. Some of that can obviously happen lightly in the mix, but a lot of it comes down to source. A lot of it comes down to like what is existing there that can even offer that energy into the mix, which is why I think we need to add a little bit of a call and response. We need to add a lower bass that has a little bit more grit to it. I think if you do that alone, you'll be in a great place. But I think there's even a couple other little layers that I would add to. And I would say too, like, don't feel like you need to rush this. Don't feel like you need to get this to mastering or like get it to mixing, like in any kind of like, unless you have a time crunch from a prompt or something like that from I don't know, a label that you're working with or a library that you're working with or something like that. Take your time, go back to it and see like, hey, let's make this bigger. Let's make this, because man, great vocal. There's good lyric structure here. I don't mind it. Like, there's a lot that I'm really enjoying about listening to this. And I feel like this has a ton of potential. It's just a little bit, it's a little bit limited in its range right now. And I feel like you have all of the ability in the world to make this like a massive sounding record, just a big record. I think if you add a few things here and then balance it in, I think you're going to be in a great spot. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is You Don't Mean It by Let's Chill. It's a duo, co-produced and excuse me, Paul on the vocals. Amazing job from all of you. I think the vocals are doing a great thing. I think the production is awesome. It's just like adding to it and making sure, and this is opposite, I might say, to someone else, of like, we're overdoing it, right? Like, we're like, this is overproduced. This is too processed on the vocal. There's like the tuning's too fast here. This is overdone. In this particular case, I think we need to have some additives here. This needs to go to turbo. You know what I mean? Like, these vocals need to punch through. Like, I was watching a video not that long ago. I want to say it was Diplo. It wasn't Diplo. It wasn't Diplo. It was another big producer and DJ. I can't remember exactly who it was, but he was talking about how when he's doing, dude, of course, anytime. He was talking about when he quantizes vocals, when he's like balancing vocals and melodyning vocals, he will quite literally like comp and process syllable by syllable sometimes. That sounds stupid. I know that sounds stupid, but they will literally like word to word, syllable to syllable, will make sure that it does exactly what they want it to do in the song. So it hits with the bass. That line of the vocal when they hit the high note is exactly in time with the kick and the crash cymbal and the big synth that comes in and the sub bass that's added right at the hook. Like, everything is perfect. And it sounds goofy because like, not every song has to be that way, right? Like, there's a lot of songs out there that like could use less processing. It could be more transparent. But in this case right here, where this is like this is a big electronic record, should be a big electronic pop record. If that's the case, then don't be afraid. Like, don't feel like you're doing too much. Don't be afraid to get in there and melodyne these vocals and be like, actually, this vocal doesn't perfectly line up with the background vocal, and perfectly line them up. You know, use Silex, They Give You the Heart Me. Perfectly line them up. Make sure that they're tuned correctly. Make sure that the processing fits exactly where it's supposed to do. If there's a little bit of a timing issue on the verse and it's not quite hitting when the new synth comes in with the harmony, tighten it up. You know what I mean? These are those records that like, they have a ton of potential. You never know if you're going to get the eyes and ears of the right person and get a sync placement. And all of a sudden, this song just made you an extra $1,200. Like, you never know. You never know, right? So I think for me, with a structure like this, it's very worthwhile to lean in. If this is like an acoustic folk record, you could probably get away with like some looser parts, right? But it's not. It's an electronic pop record. So it's like you want these things to feel tight, feel controlled, feel really, really present in the mix. So yeah, I think you have a little bit of work to do, but I also think that y'all are really intuitive with your production. I really like the breakdown that you have so far. Y'all show some love, show some love, show some love. That is Emo Drift over on Twitch. I appreciate you so much, but that's You Don't Mean It by Let's Chill. Let's keep it rolling. This is our last song of the evening. Last song of the evening. We got Cam in the building. Cam, let me know if you are in the chat still. EDM to EPR, 100%. Water from the speakers and work that bass like you can see the 100%. It's like oh, that's the bass tone. Let me go back to my piano. Although I do like some synth bass. Let me go back to my piano. Beautiful. It's time. All right, we got Cam in the building. Cam, remind me. Just let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're doing. Update me. Everyone's situation changes, you know? So update me on what's going on with your production. Update me with how you're going about your music, the role that you play in it. Because for people all the time, Eloon, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. For people that changes from time to time, people that were producing for themselves, started working with other producers, people that were doing, MP3 downloads off YouTube and doing different stuff are now working with session musicians and producers. So update me on some of the things that are going on with your new music and the role that you play and the sound that I'm hearing right here. Lenby, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you tapping in as well. All right, this is Cam. So let me up in this right now, and this is going to be our. Oh yeah, Cam Russell. Sorry, I'm seeing the email right now, dude. Beautiful, dude. Cam, it's so good to see you. Sorry, it's been. I recognize that name. Because I didn't recognize the SSP. But dude, I recognize Cam Russell 100%, dude. All right, let's get it. I was like, hold on. I had flashbacks. Eloon, thank you so much for the follow over on Twitch. I appreciate that a lot. Been producing, recording, and mixing myself for a few years. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm assuming this is all you. This is Akira by Cam, featuring, I think it's Jason Bain. I think is the way that it happens. I worked reel to reel, to DAT, to internet. He's been around to discover. I love it. We're back working on a crazy project. Let's go. So what I'm hearing is all you outside of the feature, I'm assuming. It's time. Last song, y'all. Last song, and then we'll be live again most likely on Tuesday. And of course, like I said earlier, anyone who's left up on here, which I think is just going to be Stacy, I'll add to yours as well, so you get a boost next time we come in. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here.
Spaceman. Yeah. Akira on my TV screen, I'm feeling mean, bitch, I'm hella wavy. Passing M's like my name is Brady. Bumping relapse with M like my name is Shady. Magic League, I'm #1 like Tracy McGrady. Rapping on the playground, they tried to make fun of him, but now these bars go over your head like a jungle gym. Growing up in Marion, they tried to put me in a coffin. Now they look at me funny as fuck like I'm Andy Kaufman. Gotta give it to you direct, there ain't no way to soften it, cause every so often I'm ballin', best proceed with caution. Walk up in the game dressed up in black linen, they looking at me like, damn, this motherfucker ain't pretending. Make your dreams happen, cause the shit is not a given. You fantasize about rap, but the fact is you never listen. Gotta get in a position to make a greater commission. Don't worry about recognition, just make a new composition. Can't fuck with the division, I'm focusing on my mission. Yeah, you knew the old Cam, but this is a new edition. I've been in the kitchen, man, fuck all the competition. Never ask for no permission, make yourself the acquisition. Cause you're a VIP, do not be the general admission. You're destined for something greater, so motherfuck all the haters, man. Yeah, let's keep it going.
Nice swing on the drums.
Lyrically, I'm Peter Quill on a planet where nothing's perfect. But if you live in an ego dispersant, then watch your life worsen. Feel like I'm Shotaro Kaneda with the pen. No, I deem my mentor, and I let the story begin. They say, go ahead, Cam, you should follow your dreams. But when I step behind the scenes, everything isn't what it seems. Happy on the surface, but when you look in between, they gon' shake your hand in person, shit on you behind the screen. Cause they never had the courage to understand what it means to give up your whole persona and sacrifice all your teens. You make beautiful art, but while you're steady chasing streams, you forget that everything you do is ran by machines. So do what you love, create a team to go after your goals and benefit off the memes. Cause the second that you make it, you'll see the look on their faces and know there was no mistakes that are reason you live supreme. What?
Great production too, man.
I see you, little bro. Head on
This is
straight
Jason.
with
This
the
is Jason
confidence
Bain.
and growth. But as an OG, there's some other things to know. Cause this game is a trip depending where you wanna go. First, rock with whoever's rocking with you. The minute you try to win them over, then you lose. Just like you said, gotta do this thing for you. And if they really fans, then they will show and prove. Know your moves, but you ain't gotta tell everybody. Perform and execute till you got finished product. Modest with the demeanor so they see the real you. They feel through all the fake like a BBL goof. When people tell you certain things, just listen. Some of it you use and the rest just dismiss it. But get to spitting, quality over quantity, and promise you'll be better than you ever really wanna be.
Great job on the production, man. Great job on the production. I like it a lot. Nice little swing to the hats and snare. Bass moved off the grid with it. What are you using for the bass? Ooh, like clavinet wah on the guitar too. Come on. This is nice, man. This is really well done. Very, very well done, man. Y'all, show some love, show some love, show some love. That is Cam Russell right here in the chat. SSP, you can see him right here. Make sure that you follow. Talk to me really quick about where you're at with the song. Obviously, this is finished, right? This is largely a finished product right here. Is this in distribution already? Is this already out? Is it coming out soon? Stuff like that. Let me know. Give me some details on that, and let's run it back from the top. Let's dive into a couple things. This is very well produced, man. I'm loving the kind of the funk that you have in here, the soul that you have in here too, with the wah on the guitar, kind of like Rhodes clavinet background, percussive keys and things like that. Really good bass walks, swing on the drums, good saturation and filtering. You have this almost like AJ Hall movement in the background, but it's really nice. Like the whole like aesthetic of the song, I think is really consistent. It's really well done. It's punchy. It's snappy. Sounds great, man. I'm not out yet, wanting to include some additional production and synths on the certain moments. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Shout out to Galdiv. I haven't seen a mention of Galdiv in the chat. Teach Me How to Love is such a fantastic song. I don't think I've had anyone. We're not listening to popular artists anyways, but I don't think I've heard anyone come in and mentioning Galdiv. Galdiv's is amazing. Go check out their stuff. If you like lo-fi R&B, like lo-fi pop, stuff like that. They're a really cool duo as well. Really cool duo. Anyways, sorry, side note, I just don't see people mention Galdi's too much, so it's cool to see the name pop up in the chat. All right, let's run it. Let's run it from the top. This is our last song, y'all. We are closed. We're going to be out of here after this breakdown here really quickly, and then we'll be live again most likely on Tuesday, maybe tomorrow, but I just wouldn't count on it. Most likely it's going to be Tuesday. All right, let's get it. Yeah, they're sick. They're sick. Not a lot of people. No, I don't know why they're not bigger than they are, but they're really cool. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this here.
Yeah.
Okay, one thing I would recommend as you're getting into this again. Everything that's here sounds good. So lock in a lot of Silex. Thank you for the Go Populars. I appreciate you so much. Sorry that I missed that earlier. There's a lot that I love about this, and it is built out really, really well. One thing I think would be really nice to hear is a bit more of a distinct lead element for like your intro, outro, and stuff like that. It'd be really nice to have some like consistency. So you have this. I think it's like on the guitar on the left right here. Let me see. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean? Like just that little pocket right there. Dun, 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 with the syncopation. That little pocket right there on the left, that's something that I would make a star of like your intros and your interludes and your transitions and stuff like that. Is something that has like a kind of a recurring theme. You have some like good structure on the rap side, good lyrical structure and stuff like that. I think you've done a great job of, but I would love to have something that's like a bit more of like a lead element. Scottish, welcome in. A lead element that tells me what song I'm in, right? There's so much music out there, man. It's only crazier with AI. There's millions of songs being put on platforms every week. It's insane. It's insane. And this is not counting the person that posts 50 beats to BeatStars every day because they're just doing cheap loops and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like there's so much music out there. It's more important than ever that you have identifiers of your sound, identifiers of who you are as an artist, identifiers of like really making sure that as soon as someone puts on this song, right? You come on a playlist after another artist, or they're working out and your song comes on, or they're swiping through social media. How do they know it's you? It's this song versus anything, like versus just another kind of like, fusion lo-fi hip hop record, right? Like how do they know that it's Cam? And how do they know it's the song that they remember? You need those memorable lines, right? My music is mainly classics like Wonderful. Oh, I love that. Batman, that's amazing. That's amazing. I love that so much. That's fantastic. Just something that follows those notes exactly. I think you could match that melody again. This over the C right here. That little pocket right there. I think it's a guitar that does it on the left. I think you could use like a clavinet on the right with a little bit of wall, kind of like what you have later on. I think you could use like a Rhodes. I love a Rhodes. I think a Rhodes should be in every single song. It's kind of a joke we have here, but I think Rhodes is beautiful and amazing. It could be nice to have like maybe bounce it out in stereo. So you have this bias to the left, 80% to the left. What's up, Gray Waves? Welcome in, man. I'm doing amazing. I hope you're doing well as well. Over on the left side, you have a bias of, 70, 80% where you have the guitar over there. And then on the right side, maybe rebalance that with, clavinet or something like that where you have, you have a couple different options or like a Rhodes or something like a Rhodes or a Wurlitzer like 200A on the right side to kind of balance out that stereo image and give it the same kind of pump, following the same dun, 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 dun on the right side. But anyways, something like that to kind of open up the structure just a little bit. Exactly. Literally just there. Okay, I got to do it. I got to do it because this is my favorite thing in the world and I love Rhodes so much. Let's pull up a stage 73. Where's my stage 73? Let's go ahead and we can go ahead and switch here for a second. So that this, let's go ahead and switch over here. The Rhodes is always the move. I think Rhodes is the move every single time. Rhodes is one of my favorite. Okay. And then I think you could probably go the route of a little bit more distorted too. So we're going to push the pan. We don't need the reverb. I do want to open up the flanger here too because it does help. And let's go a little more open there too. And then we'll run it through the amp. We'll run it through. It's a little bit too much drive and a little too much top end. And so we'll bring this out quite a bit. It's just ear candy, like you said. Boom. And then I'll pan it right. I don't know if this will come through on TikTok, but we'll do it anyways. And let's see. Let's open it up here. Let's push it this way. We're going to warm it up. We're going to push it. We're going to push it a little bit. So let's, we're going to drive it more bass. We're going to do a bass boost over here. Yeah, baby. You changed movement there for a second, Neil.
Yeah. Spaceman. Yeah.
And then that walk in there. Okay, so there's like a couple little things. Some that I think are sampled and then some that are instrumental, right? Let's get back over here. And we're back. There's a couple little balances here. So the one is having little walk-ins, right? But following that melody, I don't like this. I actually don't like this Rhodes tone right now, but I think having a darker filter, less tine, less ring, like darker reed, right? Having something that's a little warmer, a little bit darker, balancing out the guitar. I do think that's a good idea. I would just have to dive into the tonal qualities of this and make it what I want it to be. I don't care about that right now. The idea is more the main thing. And then when you have these bum, 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 and you have these transitions right here where you're bringing in the brass and some of these other samples in the background, I would make those transitions a little bit stronger. I think part of what is making the vocal feel very prominent. Yeah. I'm not worried about getting that perfect right now. I'm not gonna like mix in the Rhodes or like find the perfect sound. The main thing for me is just showing the idea. I just want to show that it can be a certain way. I'm not gonna mix it for them or something like that. The balance that I'm talking about here though on these transitions, I want to back it up here. Part of what I think what makes the vocal feel very prominent is when it's prominent. And I don't actually mind that too much. They're nice, smooth, compressed vocals. They're both, I think processed really well. I don't really mind the prominence of them, but I think part of it is because some of the supporting samples are maybe just a little quiet. So I do think like some of your strong transitions between like the drum rolls, the brass coming in on the transition with with your chords, those could be stronger. So like when we come in here, bass drums and vocals are tight. Some of the support can maybe come up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So when we come in here,
Spaceman. Yeah.
like right there, I kind of want that, you know, maybe not. You can decide how this actually fits into the mix, but I kind of want that brass like 5 dB louder. I want to hear, you know, bum, 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 you know what I mean? Like I want to feel like this is like a really like funky, like powerful transition right here. And it just feels the drums just kind of keep going straight through. The bass adds a little bit more legato. Drums kind of go straight through, and then the brass just kind of exists there. It doesn't feel like that strong of a transition. So one of the things I would be careful of in a song like this, which is a great song with great lyricism, great vocals, like you're doing 99% of these things so well. Like it sounds really good. The thing that you're gonna have to be careful of is too consistent dynamics, right? Like where the song just feels like the same drum loop and the same progression and the same movement between two vocals for, you know, in this case, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Like they can just feel like a lot of the same thing. It's so good. Like the thing that I don't want to happen is for something so powerful, so well recorded, really well mixed, to be honest, to start feeling over time, 2 minutes in, it can start to feel monotonous when you're hearing a lot of that same thing. So one of the ways I think you can get away with that, having a similar dynamic most of the song, is stronger transitions to pull us out of that for a second. The brass coming in, interesting, like dead, dry, Jake Reed style drum rolls in between, you know what I mean? Like having some really good transitions in here can help you get away with going back to the same dynamics consistently, because you don't have like a lead melodic hook. You don't have the dynamic range of the production being really dramatically different from each other over the course of the song, which is not a bad thing. That's not like a unique thing, and I'm not trying to turn this into a pop record. I want this to be what it is, while also making sure that like we don't lose people's attention at all, right? I want them to hear the second verse. I want them to hear the last hook from you. Like I want them to be engaged the whole time. And if it's exact same feel, then you might miss out a little bit. So I think stronger melodies in between, like we talked about, dun, 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 stronger melodies there, and then stronger transitions with the brass and the drum fills. Like the brass and the drum fills to me are it. I think it's a really, really good pocket to get into. Okay, let's move a little further here, and then we'll close up here in a second. But those to me are like the main things. The 99% of this I think sounds fantastic. I think it sounds really, really good. Like you said, if you feel like you want to dive in a little bit more and add a couple things here, taste-wise, that's up to you. Do your thing. But as far as like the aesthetic of it, the performance of it, the overall balance of the elements that you have there, I think it's pretty damn good. I think it's really nicely done.
Head like a jungle gym. Growing up in Marion, they tried to put me in a coffin. Now they look at me funny as fuck like I'm Andy Kaufman. Gotta give it to you direct, there ain't no way to...
So like even here, so here's like your B. I'm going to go through your verse really quick, and I want to give you a couple things that might help. All right, so let's roll here.
Yeah.
I'm listening for all of the production elements that are existent through the whole verse, okay?
Akira on my TV screen, I'm feeling mean, bitch, I'm hella wavy. Passing M's like my name is Brady. Bumping relapse with M like my name
All
is
in.
Shady. Magic League, I'm #1 like Tracy McGrady. Rapping on the playground, they try to make fun of him, but now these bars go over your head like a jungle gym. Growing up in Marion, they tried to put me in a coffin. Now they look at me funny
Then
as
here-
fuck like I'm Andy Kaufman. Gotta give it to you direct.
Like here, to be honest, I would maybe pull everything but like drums. Nothing but drums and vocal, like just for a moment, right? Again, like it's just creating some level of dynamic range, because whether the bass changes and some of the sound design changes and some of these new movements in here morph a little bit over the course of the song, you've done an amazing job. Seriously, it's a great production and good vocal performance and everything too. You're doing a lot of, I keep saying it, you're doing a lot of things right. But here it's like, but all of that sound is always in the song the whole time, right? So we don't get any of this push and pull of the dynamics. If you just like took out like the sample and the bass and everything right here on the B section of your song, right? After the transition, strong brass transition, and then really, really strong movement right after this, right?
And now they
And then
look at-
take everything out but this drum. So it's just that in your vocal for like 4 measures, 4 bars, and then you go back and bum, 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 boom, dum, dum, dum. You know, go back in with the percussion, the bass, and everything kind of comes back into play. Exactly. You just and pull it for like a couple measures. Let the vocals settle with it. So like all here.
Be funny as fuck like I'm Andy Kaufman. Gotta give it to you direct.
Nothing
there
here,
ain't no way to
nothing
soften
here.
it, cause every so often I'm balling, best proceed with caution.
Just drums
Woke
and
up in the
vocal.
game dressed up in black linen, they looking at me.
Or at the very least, drums, bass, and vocal, right? You know what I mean? Like just like if it was all of a sudden just boom, 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 boom. It's just that. if it's just that for like 4 measures, and then all of a sudden, all the other shit comes in, right? All the other layers come in. Do this however feels like it makes sense, right? Like, I'm just throwing shit out there, and you can kind of find what works in the record. The main goal is to take a really consistent production and create more dynamic range. Right now, it's a lot of the same, and what is there sounds great. But I think even just pushing and pulling a little bit more will make it more engaging to listen to. And what happens is if all of a sudden for a full like 4 measures, you just hills and valleys, baby. Exactly. I'm on TikTok too, and I'm good to see you in here. Discover, I appreciate you so much, man. Thanks for tapping in today. If for even just a moment, what it does is if for a moment here, you take everything away, but percussion, maybe bass, but even just percussion for like a whole 4 measures, and then the bass comes back in, what it does is it zooms in on the song, right? The brain can only process so much information, which is why the cohesiveness of a production is a big deal, right? It can only process so much noise at one point. So if all of a sudden you decide to just shave everything off, and it's nothing there but just like you and the drums, it zooms you in on the song. So all of a sudden even if I've been locked into your lyrics, I'm like locked into the lyrics. You know what I mean? It's like if there's a random explosion in a film or like a jump scare. It's like I was paying attention. No, I'm really fucking paying attention. You know what I mean? Sometimes having these little moments where you just zoom into the song and allow us to live with your vocal for a second, and then reintroduce those elements again. We settle back into groove, back into pocket, back into all those other great things. But it just gives us a moment to really lock into what's happening. A couple little times. Do it on we'll go into the second vocal here in a second. Do it on the second vocal as well, and just find some moments where you can push and pull your dynamics and your production elements a little bit more. And I think what is already a fantastic record with great elements will just be that much more sticky. You know what I mean? It'll be that much more engaging. You're crushing it, man. Yeah, this is honestly, it's fantastic. Really, really good.
Improve, know your moves, but you ain't got to tell little bro.
To go after
Here's the second. Please, dude, please add us. Dude, I'm the 80s guy, dude. I love a saxophone. Please put a saxophone in the outro.
your goals and benefit off the memes. Cause the second that you make it, you'll see the look on their faces and know there was no mistakes that a reason you live supreme. What?
Okay, I see you, little bro. Head on straight with the confidence and growth. But as an OG,
That's a
there's
great
some
feature,
other
too.
things to know. Cause this game is a trip depending where you wanna go. First, rock with whoever's rocking with you. The minute you try to win them over, then you lose. Just like you said, gotta do this thing for you. And if they really fans, then they
And then
will
here,
show and prove.
bass
Know
out.
your
Same thing, right? Bass out right here.
moves, but you ain't gotta tell everybody. Perform and execute till you got finished product. Modest with the demeanor, so
Or
they
just bass and drum. You know what I mean? Either like bass out or just bass and drums. The sample takes up so much of the high end. Da, 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 da. There's so much happening up there that is a lot of what is like giving you this energy at the top of the mix right here. So we even just taking that out, right? Even just going bass and drums and vocal for a second. Come on. B section of the feature verse as well. Same thing you did with yours. B section of the feature verse. You pull out everything but drums, bass, and vocal. Nothing. Dry, punchy, strict. Drums, bass, and vocal. Immediately we just boom. We zoom into the music. I'm re-engaged with that vocal. It feels nasty. Like I'm not focusing on anything up or anything else. And then you bring in the other elements again. The sample comes in as you transition to the hook again. Like all that fun stuff, man. So start the music cut at I think so.
They see the real you, they feel, show and prove. Know your moves, but you ain't gotta tell.
Yeah. Just do either just drums or drums and bass. Drums and bass could work too. I think if you go back and listen through the production too, and just start muting things. The biggest thing that is filling out this mix is a really reverberated sample at the top. Da, 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 da. It's this big thing at the top. That is what's like right now. There's a lot of noise up here. And then there's like drums and bass carrying everything down here. If you pulled that top half of the mix away, that changes it dramatically, right? So start with drums and bass. The bass is pretty intermittent, right? Boom, 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 doo doo doo, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty intermittent. Like it's got a lot of space and silence, which I love. There's a lot that happens in that silence. So I'm a big fan of that. So start with just going back to drums and bass, and then feel like maybe there's some times where I don't do the root note on the bass first, and I just go. You know what I mean? Like we just have drums with some interludes on the bass. Have some fun with it, man. Get funky with it. Have some fun with it. What's up, DTSK? Good to see you, brother. Have some fun with it. Punch around a little bit and just kind of see what happens. But I think it comes down to what makes sense, what draws attention to the vocal, what gives you some more dynamic range. And I think you'll be in a good spot. Hit a cold silence on the fourth and the chorus. It's such a weird record because musically it's almost neo soul with a super hip. 100%, 100%. It's like it has the aesthetic of sample structure, like kind of fusion sample structure on the top, while still actually just utilizing the real instrumentation or sampled, emulated instrumentation on the top. It doesn't feel like you just took like a vinyl and sampled it and chopped it up behind it, like an old Kanye record or something. It feels really good, man. Like there's a lot that I love about this. Like percussion structure is great. So yeah, this is just a little bit of dynamic control, man. You're gonna be in a freaking fantastic spot. I have no gripes about this, man. This is just polished stuff, right? This is just like little production polish. And then also kind of deciding what you want to do on the outro is kind of up to you too. I would just run with an old like 80s style fade and just run it down from there.
Better than you ever really want to be.
And just take about 10 seconds to drop this down. Miranda, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. It's a killer production, man. Yeah, because honestly, we have like an extra 30 seconds of outro here. Either, of course, you can, if you're adding to it, you can add to it. But if you want to pause just a little bit, get it aim to get the song under 3 minutes if you can. Even like 2:55 would be helpful. Try to get it under 3 minutes. It's just gonna be more viable for playlisting. It's gonna be more more viable for for placement overall, but also just playlisting as a whole. So like there's a couple little things there. You have like a 30-second outro. If you want to add to it, you can have it be what it is. But I would also then, if you're gonna have like another verse on the outro or like a second hook at the outro, then you might want to have like a radio edit that's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds with a little tighter. I had a version with the fade too, but I really love these elements at the end. Yeah. I mean, I do too. Okay. Let me toil with myself for a second, going back and forth a little bit. I do really like it too. If you're going to do the sax solo, then add in the sax here and fade out with that. The thing is after a certain point, there's no new beneficial information. So I love the sound. I love the sound of this production. I could, as someone who just loves the sound of this production and as someone who produces and can appreciate what you're doing, I could hear you to go another 2 minutes on this outro. You know what I mean? But would that be the thing that the average consumer and the algorithms that then dictate what they're fed would appreciate, and would it actually push? That's another conversation. So I would love to find a balance between the two of what will the average consumer even know to appreciate, and what will the algorithm ever feed that person ever, by means of like who's going to be skipping the outro based on it's like, oh, the song's done. I've heard it before, so I know there's nothing else that happens. I'll just keep skipping it. Every time they hit that next button, it's a little bit of a knock. So I'm kind of curious if like here we go back a little ways.
Some of it you use and the rest just dismiss it. But get the spitting quality
Sax
over
solo
quantity.
right
I promise
away,
you'll be better
right?
than you ever really want to be.
Like you can have like a fun little solo here that's doing its thing. It takes over your top line for a second right there. Like run with that movement right there. But then after you go about 8 measures, keep the sax going and then start to fade out. You'll probably be at like 305 instead of 320. Dude, run with it. Keep a mind cam if you feel like you need to go back to it. These are all recorded to YouTube. So this will be like episode 94 or something like that. On my YouTube channel, if you go to the playlist that's Track Talk live stream, it'll be the most recent recording after today. If you want to go back and be like, what was that melody? And run with it. I don't care. Y'all can use whatever. But like go 8 measures with it. And then once the 8 measures hits and you've done the main portion of it right here, go ahead and notch it down and then fade it out for the next 7 seconds after that. You'll save yourself about 10, 15 seconds, as well as still giving yourself a really strong solo. So you get a little bit of everything. You can keep the production elements you like while also consolidating to be a little bit better for, optimizing for streaming. But y'all show some love, man. Show some love. That's the family. Cam in the building. Cam, dude, it's so good to hear your music again, hear your vocals, listen to your productions, man. That's one of the OGs, honestly. He's been here for, around this world for years. Really, really, really appreciate what you do, man. Your talent. It's amazing. Amazing. So y'all please show some love. That was our last one for today. We are going to be live again on Tuesday. I don't know. I might be live tomorrow. I'm just not positive. But I will be live again for sure on Tuesday. So just make sure that you're following. Make sure that you are tapped in. Anybody that I have to save, I will add to yours. So keep that that in mind. If I have to save your song, if you're left up on the board after I get off, I will always make sure that I add to your record for the next time that you come in. No, Stacy, you'll never miss it. You'll never miss it. I'll always make sure. That's why I have that on the form. If you don't get heard, I'll always save it to my list. I'll save your credit and your name to my list. That way, the next time that you come in, anytime, whether it's in 2 days or it's in a week or two, just let me know that you're here. I'll throw you straight back up on the board. And every time I have to save it in order to help you out a little bit the next time, I give you a boost as well. That way you get a little bit more the next time. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all been amazing. I really, really appreciate everyone that's come in here. Quick spiel before we hop off of the live stream. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I am a full-time engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do for a living. So that obviously that's the format of the stream and the content that we're talking about on here. But it's also what I do for a living. So if you are ever in need of a session musician, you need electric, acoustic, bass guitars, you need live drums. My main thing is keys and synths. I've been playing piano, classically trained since I was 6 years old. So I do a lot of synth work, a lot of keys work. If you ever need like hardware, analog synths, you need the Junos, the DX7s, the Moog, stuff like that. That's a lot of what I do. So if you ever need session work, if you ever need full production packages or mixing and mastering, that's all what I do for a living. So shoot me a message. I'll do my best to get back to you in a reasonable time. Besides that, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Hopefully we'll see y'all very, very, very soon. Like I said, I might be back Tuesday, maybe tomorrow, but most likely Tuesday. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Peace.